And we're live!
Hello, and welcome once again to Those Aren't Biscuits. We've been gone for a couple weeks, but we're back, and we're drunker than ever. Well, not yet. We're getting there.
I'm really
right,
concerned
folks.
that that's the
You've
delay.
tuned into the...
Please don't tell me we've got that huge delay again.
What, you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you, but you took a long time before you started. I think we've got a crazy delay. You keep doing the intro. Don't worry, I'm gonna check.
A delay. There is
yeah, it's a pretty bad delay. It's good, isn't it?
Oh, man. We were doing just fine.
We were doing so well. We were doing so well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to quit at the party and I'll re-invite you, and I'll keep doing the intro while I do it, alright? I'll finish up your intro for a bit. Okay, alright. Alright, we're going to hear no words from John for a moment. You're going to be looking at a blue screen while I kick him out of the party and re-invite the party and get it all started again. Sometimes we have a little bit of technical issues since we switched over to use the PlayStation chat to get everything working. The PlayStation chat is not always ideal for what we need it for, but it does sometimes work out okay. We have a little bit of a delay tonight, possibly because of Hustle Kings. Hopefully soon you'll be able to hear John again. In the meantime, if you are new here, this is a weekly talk show where we talk about pop culture, movies, politics, comics, everything. We talk about all different kinds of things, and we'll be talking about all kinds of different things like Star Wars today. We're going to be doing our Star Wars chat, and when we get John back, we're going to see if we've still got a delay. Hopefully not too bad. And our game for the day is going to be Hustle Kings, where we'll be hustling some kings. If you've ever wanted to see King Alexander V robbed and sold a timeshare condo, this is the game for you. You with us again, John? No, we don't have any John yet. Dear me. So I'm going to have to keep going solo. Hello to Ninth Dimension Gaming, who says, are we going to talk spoilers for Star Wars? We probably are, once we get it working again. Once the stream is running, we're going to be talking Star Wars Last Jedi today. That is the plan, basically, but we've got to get the show going first. Hopefully without too much of an issue. I keep hearing what I think is John's mic, but I keep hearing no John. And, of course, worth mentioning, every year, usually around Christmas, we do a very special drinking episode where we stream, well, we've never streamed before, because this is the first year we've been streaming it, but, well, we do the show while drinking alcohol, which is never particularly wise, but usually okay. Hey, John, you're back!
I'm back.
Alright, let's test the delay. What's your name?
Jonathan.
Okay, there's a bit of a delay, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was earlier. Shall we...
Alright.
We'll ride it out.
We'll write it out, yeah.
Let's try and sync up with a little bit of a test, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooga chaka, ooga ooga, ooga chaka, ooga ooga. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. You're supposed to come in. This is not working. You just left me out to hang there.
I just wanted to hear you go.
There we go. Works out pretty well. It'll do. There we go. If you had anything to say for the intro. Hooked on a feeling, do 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 do, and I'm high on believing. Yeah, that's no worse than normal. There's always a little bit of a delay.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, I think it might have to do with my phone. It's doing something, so I might not have access to the chat, so I'm going to have to rely on you today.
Don't worry about it. Ninth Dimension Gaming says, Owen is the best. Jonathan smells like cheese. Nice, thank you for your lovely comment, Ninth Dimension Gaming.
Yeah. It's mighty nice of you, Ninth Dimension Gaming. Is it good cheese at least? Like a nice Gouda. Gouda smells all right.
All right, no, Ninth Dimension Gaming, don't do that. Look, Ninth Dimension asked if we were going to talk spoilers for Star Wars, and we are. We're going to have a conversation about spoilers for Star Wars. That doesn't mean you should just immediately post all the most egregious spoilers free of conversation in the chat, so that anyone that wanders through is going to immediately see them and have it spoiled for them. Have a little courtesy. The fact that we're talking spoilers doesn't mean you should immediately try and spoil it for people. If people come in midway through the conversation, that's okay. Sometimes that happens, but, you know, ease it up.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking spoilers of Star Wars, and we got a few other things ready to go for today. It should be a fun stream. Our past shows that we've been drinking can get a little hairy sometimes, but
So have you started yet?
Oh yeah.
You have? Oh, we're supposed to do the intro where we like talk about what we're drinking and we don't start. I haven't started yet because I'm trying to get my beer to cool down. Oh. I forgot to fridge my beer, so I've made a little. I've tucked my beer into a little tin takeaway tray, with ice cubes in the bottom, and then I used those ice cube bags where you fill them in and they make like pillows of ice cubes. That's laid all top. It looks all snuggly. I don't want to take my beer out because I think it's cozy. It looks like
most things are surrounded by ice.
You know those old Tom and Jerry cartoons where he'd make the little bed for the duck out of pastry? and the duck would be like, "Oh, you go, Mama, you made a sweet little bed for," you know?
I don't know if we've seen the same Tom and Jerry cartoons,
honestly.
The
one, it's the one where they get the duck. The duck hatches. You know the duck. You remember what's the duck called?
Yeah.
And it immediately decides Tom's its mother. And Tom's like, I'm going to tuck you in. Well, he doesn't say that because he doesn't talk. But he tucks him into a little bed made of pastry and a pie dish. And the duck's all like, good night, Mama. It's adorable.
Which makes me wonder if they're trying to make like a political statement about like postpartum depression. You know? How...
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's what they were doing.
Well, I sent you an invite to play here.
Oh yeah, here we go. Let me look. Hold on. View challenges. Let's do this. So, okay.
Yeah. What are you drinking today, man?
Well, I am drinking Corona, which is probably my favorite beer. And I have my limes prepared. Why is it weird?
Well, we've had discussions before about how like tacos aren't really a thing over in the UK, right?
There we go. We're open. Yeah.
Which is weird to me that of all the like Mexican exports that could have made it over there, like Corona. Like Corona's kind of a crap beer over here. Like not a lot of people like it.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, I mean, some people do. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say it's not a unpopular beer, but I guess it just doesn't match normal.
Well, it's not exactly sold as a. It's not exactly sold as a luxury product. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't have the Stella Artois advertising. In fact, I've never seen an ad for Corona, but you can get it at most bars with limes. Is that how you serve it there? Limes, Corona, lime in the bottle, all that jazz?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Then what is wrong with you? It's delicious.
I don't like it. It's almost too light of a beer for me. Like, I think we've talked about this before, but I tend to go towards like a heavier beer. Like I don't drink it all the time, but if I've been known to drink my fair share of like Guinness, like that's kind of more my speed.
I love a Guinness. I love a Guinness too, but I wouldn't want to drink Guinness during this show because don't get me wrong, I love Guinness, right? But as much as I love Guinness and as much as I drink it, it still presents that thing in me every time I drink where I go, ugh, you know? But mostly that's just the throat clearing the debris, do you know what I mean? Clearing the thickness of Guinness. And sending a warning signal to your stomach that it's on the way. Tiny Beth Secret says, John underestimates the student drinking community of the UK. That's true.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, like Owen's a student. He's much older than he makes you all think he is.
I will,
He's 70 years old.
What's the greatest when you say that to someone, Drake? Like, he's much older than you think he is, but you don't know how old. That really does increase the range. Because anyone out there, for you to be true, anyone out there who thinks I'm 50, you know, I now have to be much older than 50.
So what was it like watching Margaret Thatcher get inaugurated?
Inaugurated. We don't do that.
Or sworn in? I don't know.
I don't even think we swear people in. Because they're already members of parliament when they begin. Do you know what I mean? They're already in position.
Handed the keys to the tool shed out back. I don't know. What the fuck do you guys do over there? Just...
What was it like when Margaret Thatcher closed down the coal mines and I was unemployed for the first time in my life? Is that what you're trying to say?
Sure. Is that the traditional, like, first day of a prime minister? Like, all right, welcome to the head of parliament, and now you have to close down a mine.
Well, I mean,
it's
pretty
the
much
British way.
Since Thatcher, pretty much. Nominate Ball. I'm gonna nominate you, Ball.
Let's hope you have the full support of your election party.
Your election party.
I can't remember what those are called.
Political party?
We have like the Republican National Party and the Democratic National Party, or a committee, I should say, the RMP and the DNP.
Like the conventions?
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, I guess. Alright, here we go. I'm pushing my lime in. Go, lime.
Gross.
Hey, I am a limey. Well, my work desk's gonna smell of limes for days. I'm taking my first drink of the night. So what are you drinking?
I am drinking a wonderful concoction of E&J brandy and Coca-Cola.
What and J brandy?
E&J.
E&J?
Yeah, like
is that
initials.
The letter E? E-N-J. Not someone called E&J who's like, hey, Jack Daniels did it. E&J's time to shine.
No, like E ampersand J.
Oh, cool. Ian Persand J. I keep doing this.
So that's what I'm drinking tonight, which is what I drank last time. So I figured, it's kind of a tradition. So.
Ninth Dimension Gaming says, yeah, tacos aren't too popular here, but Corona is. Well, Corona's here been for a while, but tacos, they're getting pretty, pretty big around here. You get them at tapas bars these days.
Well, tacos have kind of, they're kind of what I consider like a meme food. You know what I mean? Like, they've gotten very popular, like on...
They've been commandeered by the alt-right. You just order a taco, you open it up, and it says, prohibit abortion inside. A picture of a frog.
You just open it up, it says, no SJWs.
And what is this? Salsa, jalapenos, and... oh shit, I need a Mexican food beginning with W. Give me something, John. We can make this work. We can land this together.
Fuck. W's not a real popular letter in Spanish.
Damn it!
I don't know, white Baja sauce.
Yay! We did it! Oh, it's
would
me.
Actually just be... Which would just be Blanco y Baja salsa.
What, the guy from Street Fighter?
Yeah. Every time you open up a taco container, to Brazil. Which speaks Portuguese there.
Oh. Isn't it interesting how we don't even bother explaining why we play snooker anymore? It's just like, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a long, in-depth story. Snooker just happens to be one of the first games that me and Owen ever played online together during a stream. It's the first time we ever... Oh, no, we didn't even stream it. We just recorded it. And it's a fairly low-intense game, like low intensity. So we can just kind of just batter on these balls and talk.
I often picture John in like an 80s movie. He's going out with his friends. They're going drinking. They're getting up to some trouble, getting in with the wrong crowd in a bad neighborhood, right? And they go to this seedy dive bar where they accidentally upset some hustlers, you know? And John,
Right.
one of John's friends is like, I can get us out of this. Come on, man, what do we play some pool? You know, maybe, and we'll play for it. And the guy's like, we don't play pool here. In this bar, we play snooker. And John just steps up like, I got this.
Hey, where's my aiming line? Where's the aiming line, guys? There's supposed to be an aiming line. So, how was Christmas?
Not too bad, not too bad. I've been busy doing some channel stuff because obviously I've had my ooh, I might have just potted the red.
You did. Weren't you supposed to?
No, I was supposed to get a color.
Oh, you dumb bastard.
We're gonna talk about Star Wars later in the show, Ninth Dimension.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there. Don't worry. Trust me. I think we both me and Owen have been kind of itching to talk about this with each other.
Nah.
I know I have.
Nah.
All right. Fuck off.
Star Wars, isn't it? It was just okay. So no, Christmas was good. Some good gifts, some good time with the family. It's nice to have a little bit of time off because I did keep streaming, but I took it a little bit easier, so it was good. And got some new games for the channel. Been streaming a little bit of Cuphead, courtesy of Christmas, which is fun. And talk about that more later, maybe. And yeah. How about your Christmas?
We're off to a raring start, aren't we?
I was reading the chat. I'm having to moderate the chat here.
I don't. Christmas is pretty decent for me. Thanks for asking.
Did you get anything good? Get another Blizzarator?
No. I'm still only one. I'm only a singular Blizzarator owner.
Has the Blizzarator show received any use yet this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had some snow here. We've had some ice. So yeah, the Blizzarator has seen the light of day and has performed its duties with honor and precision.
I like the Blizzarator.
Yeah, it's a good guy.
But no, the problem with the Christmas talk is, and as an adult, I never know what to say, because I got some good gifts, right? Which is always nice, because gifts are fun. But as an adult, it always seems kind of weird to be like, well, I got Assassin's Creed Origins, and a pony, and, do you know what I mean?
Oh, you got a pony?
No. But it always seems a bit of a strange thing to, do you know what I mean? To sit and be like, to talk about the gifts seems weird. We had a good meal. We had a pretty cool meal. My family always goes out for an Indian meal on Christmas. It is our Christmas tradition. And then Beth and I, we always do a more traditional meal, like one day either side, you know, either the day before or after. But no, it was really good to spend time with my family and to get some time to just ease up on the schedule a little bit, which was good. So there you go.
That's good to hear.
Is that a better answer? You happy?
Yeah, no, I'm
happy now, Jonathan.
It is acceptable.
It's my Christmas entertaining enough for you now. Was just the season of goodwill and peace to all men not enough? Did you want a fucking Christmas carol? I got visited by 3 ghosts in the night, John. Is that an interesting enough story?
You know what, motherfucker? I do want a Christmas Carol. Start singing. Sing, Brit boy, sing.
While shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on a plank, the angel of the Lord came down and taught them all. Oh, sorry, I can't sing that one on the show.
You know what? I regret my decision. Never sing again.
Do you ever do that one as a kid? I know there's like Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, but we used to have replacements all. I went to Christian schools, so we had replacements for all the Christmas carols.
No, we really
3 kings of Leicester Square, selling women's underwear. They're fantastic, no elastic, only a tenner a pair. I don't think I know the line.
That sounds like a terrible pair of underwear. How do you have underwear without elastic? They're just...
Because it's a joke song, because they were wheeler dealers.
Well, you know what? I don't care if it's a joke song. I want some damn quality women's underwear.
Just to buy around your house in case anyone drops by. You're like, yeah, hot date last night for me. You're like, this has got no elastic.
What I'd use it for.
Yeah, we really wore out that elastic.
Yeah, sure. No, I would absolutely use it that way. I wouldn't wear them myself.
You say that like that's more to be ashamed of than using it to fake a date.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I've actually had this. I've had this conversation before with women.
Is this the point where you're about to tell me that you do actually want to buy them for the to comfortably wear women's underwear? Which I don't mind if you do.
No,
you just seem to be getting all serious for a moment.
Now, I've had this conversation in the past with other women, and I really do think women get the short end of the stick when it comes to underwear.
Uh-huh.
None of them look comfortable. None. Not.
What about women's boxers? They're just boxers with a different cut. What about that? You got them, right?
I don't know. Are the women boxers really a thing? Like,
yeah.
I've never... Like, I've seen, like the boy shorts, which are kind of like, I guess, a little bit more fabric than normal underwear. But they still seem really, like, tight and binding, you know?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about it. What I always find interesting is that there's no, like, male equivalent to lingerie.
Well, there is, but it's not taken seriously. You know, like the silk boxers or something like that.
They're just boxers made out of silk. There's no like there's no like male underwear made from like a semi-transparent lattice of fabric in a flower pattern. You know what I mean? But like with macho stuff, so like steering wheels and wheels and cigars. little outlines of Winston Churchill.
What kind of lingerie have you been seeing?
I'm trying to think of the male equivalent, you know.
No, because here's the thing. It's just a difference of attraction, right? Like, lingerie is attractive to guys because it's kind of revealing, but it's still, like, hiding what we want to see.
Right.
The things that, like, in my head that women want to see.
Hold on, we just need to just take a breather for a moment because you might be about to say something hilariously old-fashioned and sexist. Let's do this. I'm rubbing my hands together, getting ready to clip it. Let's do this.
I think that. Oh, God damn! Now I'm nervous. No, I don't think like underwear really hides the things that like women want to see, you know?
Okay.
Like, because that's the thing, like lingerie hides, you know, boobs and vagina, right? That's the thing, but it's like tantalizing, so like
right, it sort of hides, exposes, and accentuates. Oh, I see. So you think that's your theory?
I don't think
I'm not disputing it. I'm saying
dicks are attractive.
Your position is that just like nobody wants to see that, right?
Right. I don't think anyone wants to see a dick. Like, I think.
Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe it just hasn't been presented in enough like flowery lace yet?
You know what? The next time I have to send a dick pic, I'm gonna make sure I use one of those Snapchat filters that puts the flower halo on it.
I'm just saying we need penis lingerie, right? It needs to be like an extra foreskin made out of lace that you just like wrap down it.
It's just a condom of billowy like fabric, like a teddy, just.
With a little tie around the neck like a cape. Like
You know what? I don't know, Ninth Dimension Gaming. We might not make it to Star Wars at this rate.
Halfway through my first beer and we already made it to dick lingerie.
We? Sorry, I'm gonna be... I apologize for the chewing that you're gonna hear, but I am gonna probably be eating a little bit during this stream.
It was all going so well.
That was the most legit no I've ever heard in my life. No! No!
Well, I just realized I'd sent my last dick pic without dick lingerie. See? And I was like, I'm not gonna get a reply to that.
It's over for me.
What I liked is the way you phrased it as the next time I send a dick pic. Like, we all know there's gonna be a next time.
Look, I'm not neither confirming or denying that I may have sent a dick pic in the past, alright? But I can say with certainty...
But was your penis wearing a cape? That is what we need to know.
The hard-hitting questions.
And then you finally meet the woman in person and your little penis is wearing glasses and she can't tell who it is.
That's not your penis. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Your penis was the person who saved me out of that helicopter.
Just...
Yeah. It's like Christopher Reeves when the glasses come off and stands up straighter.
I just get arrested because I'm dick first into a phone booth. Like, just almost done. Almost done. Oh, this is going swimmingly.
No, the real bad one would be like, help me, super dick. Like, my dog's trapped in that burning building. You're like, this is just my lingerie. Like, damn it.
I assure you, my dick does not have superpowers. As much as I wish it did. Although that would be kind of funny if like, only your penis could fly, but not you.
This hurts so much!
So you're just being dragged along, just ah!
Curse my sense of duty!
Your spine's all just like folded backward, like ah! Slow down!
Hello to that channel, welcome. Or is it that Chanel? Hello, how you doing?
That's really funny to me.
It's because you've been drinking, John. Oh, well done, sir. We'll try and get more with it as the night goes on. That'll definitely happen.
But no, my Christmas was pretty good. I got some gifts from my mom, but my mom kind of went a different route this year, where instead of like actually buying me stuff, it was kind of more like, hey, let's go to the store, you pick out some stuff, and then I'll just pay for it. She kind of went that route this year.
No, fair enough.
So that went well.
You send the invite to me, because that'll work a little bit smoother for the show.
So my dad, though, continued his tradition of buying me things that he's just kind of convinced that I need. Like the Blizzarator, because he was damn certain that I needed an ice scraper.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Self-respect. And a little cape for my dick pics.
I've gone 29 years without self-respect. I ain't starting now.
Oh, no worries, Ninth Dimension. I'll try and remember that.
Well, you gotta tell me what he's saying.
Oh, he's just saying that the other channel is just still him.
Oh, okay.
God, I hope that's you pouring a drink.
It is. How do you think it was?
Whew. I thought you were gushing urine.
Oh, Jesus. Right off the start, huh? First shot.
Well,
But yeah, this year he got me a knife set.
Are we talking kitchen or like bad part of town?
I think you need these in your small town that has 4,000 people. Although, to be fair, I might actually, because this town's gotten kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. In kind of in a depressing state of things, my town has fallen to the same woes that most small towns in America are facing. We've developed quite a drug problem here with meth and stuff, which has become very common in small rural areas in the country. So that's a shame. But no, these are kitchen knives.
Sorry. We've fallen favorite to some of the big problems affecting small town America. We've got drug problems, mainly meth, but no, these are kitchen knives. Yeah.
Trying to keep it light, all right? I'm trying.
You're failing. You've lurched it light.
I didn't think everyone wanted to hear about the growing methamphetamine epidemic that's gripping the country. We can talk about it if you want.
Well, someone should talk about it, Jonathan.
No, I got some knives. The one kind of fun thing I got from my I also got like a personal blender, which I forgot I actually left in Milwaukee at my dad's house, so I don't have it with me.
I thought you meant then. I thought you meant like you'd left it some other time and he'd then given you it for Christmas. Like, hey, it's your blender.
That would have been great. And that's not wholly outside of my dad's realm of things, because he's very much like me in that sense. Because I would do the same fucking thing to someone. But no, my stepsister got me a book, which has become kind of a tradition between me and her, because we get along, and we always joke along, and we you know, we have a good time whenever we see each other, but we still don't know a ton about each other. So we've kind of, I don't know, like fallen back on that whole like, well, I'm gonna get you a book that I hope you like, and you're gonna give me a book that you hope I like. And that's exactly what we did this year. I bought her a book that I thought, maybe she'll like it, and she bought me a book that I'm assuming she thought I liked. I'm hoping she knew, like, he's gonna hate this, and bought me a book. But it's a Stephen King book.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't just say Stephen King book. It's a Stephen King and Owen King book.
I know this one. This is what's this one called? It's just come out. It's the most recent one, right?
Sleeping Beauties.
Yeah, it's very new.
Yes. She bought that for me. Which is very nice of her. I will say that. It's very nice. Problem is, I haven't tried to read a Stephen King book in like, let's say 12 years or so. When I failed at trying to read The Stand.
I love how when you phrase it like that, it makes it sound like a personal failing. Like, I just could... there were some really big words in it. And...
It kind of was a personal failing because I tried. I really tried because everyone always talked about how great Stephen King is. And, well, I mean, you don't even need people to tell you that because you just look at sales figures. Clearly, there's something there.
I like that you live in a world... I like that you live in a world where you're intimately familiar with Stephen King's sales figures before you've heard anybody mention how good he is. You're like, who is this guy? Who is this Stephen King?
Suggest that he's a king. But the problem was I tried to read Stand and I just couldn't really get into it. I really tried. But I just really...
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. I've heard it's great. But...
yeah, I mean, it's the one everyone kind of claims is, like, his best, you know? Or not, like, his best, but, like, the seminal Stephen King book.
I've heard people say it's his best. I don't think... For me, I don't think it's the right genre of him at all. Do you think people just think it's his best because people who like that genre like it as a really good post-apocalyptic book and they don't really care about Stephen King that much? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. But for me, it wasn't even about, like, the subject matter or anything like that. It's the style. Stephen King writes in a very specific style that I don't particularly usually enjoy.
I think, like, I like it, but I can see how it would put you off. You know, the way every paragraph ends with, "Fuck you, Jonathan Cadotte. I'm coming to kill you."
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was a weird choice.
It doesn't bother
honestly.
me, you know? Doesn't inhibit my enjoyment of the book, but, and you know, like, the, halfway through The Shining, where the whole book just basically stops and it writes out your address in a detailed, like... a detailed explanation of what he's coming to do to you.
All work and no play make Jonathan Cadotte a dull boy. All work and no play make Jonathan Cadotte a dull boy. All work and no play. Yeah.
You know, I
wasn't a fan of that.
It's subjective, of course. Like, all art is subjective, whether you enjoy it or not. You know. Mm-hmm. But like, I can see why someone like you would find that. I don't know. Maybe a little. What's the word? Creepy.
Hackney?
Oh, cliche, definitely.
Yeah, cliche. The Jonathan Cadotte hate is kind of gotten to the point where it's like, really, guys, let's try something else. No, it's just that style, right? It's that style where, like, he's going to, like, drone on and on and on about very minute details that actually don't have much of an impact on the story at all. It's that thing. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. And that's what I always try to tell people when I talk to other people about Stephen King, is that I don't think he writes bad. I don't. I think he's actually a very good writer. It's just not in a style that really suits me.
Right, like, it's strange for me because I've heard this criticism of Stephen King a lot, and I actually don't see it in his writing in the same way. So it must be... I don't think it's just a subjective taste style thing. I think it's... If his writing does kind of work for you, you don't even see him doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Like, I guess for me, when it comes to writing, I very much come from, like, the... like, Ernest Hemingway school of thought, or, like, it's very much about...
Move to Cuba.
Move to Cuba, go around the bowls, punch F. Scott Fitzgerald in the face over the Oxford comma, and but it's very much a efficiency of words
Right.
sort of situation. Where if you look at his writing, he's very much about, I'm going to say what I want to say with as few words as possible. And that's kind of my jam. Like, I like that style. Like, not necessarily let's get to the point, but let's achieve our goals literarily with, you know, a sense of urgency, I guess.
Right. No, I respect that too.
But so, I will say, though, that I have been... I'm very early on in the book, but I actually have been enjoying it. It's been a slow go, because I haven't had a ton of time just to sit down and read. But the bit I've gone through, it's very interesting. And what I do kind of like about it is that it does not hide the fact that this book is absolutely trying to make a political statement. Because the dedication page, right? It goes, in remembrance of Sandra Bland. Those of you who don't know, Sandra Bland was a woman who was detained by the police and killed while in custody in an act of police brutality, but none of the police officers were convicted or indicted. And it was kind of a... unfortunately, it's become a trend of sorts in the American news cycle of these acts of police brutality. But
hello
yeah,
to Sam Fallman, by the way. How you doing? Welcome.
Hey, Sam. But this book is very much... okay, so it is one of the criticisms I have of it. It is very much a book written about, like how awesome women are and how terrible men are, but it's written by two men. So it still kind of has that weird like mansplaining feel to it.
Right.
And which I don't blame Stephen and Owen for writing the book. And trying to write a book that's like, hey, look, you know, women are pretty awesome and guys kind of suck sometimes. That's fine. Like that's a perfectly fine sentiment to me. It's just like they've done it so far in this book in a very, very plain way, where it's like all the women in the book so far have been portrayed as these very complex characters, you know, where they have these histories behind them and they've uncovered these secrets about men in their lives, or they had a terrible upbringing and they're just trying to make their way and they got caught up in a system and all this stuff. And every guy in the book has been portrayed as like just this complete douchebag, like one note character. And which is fine. I'm not upset about guys being portrayed poorly. That doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. But when like clearly the objective of the book is trying to show how important women are in the world.
Oh, damn it.
And you do it in such a in your face, like slap you across the eyes way. I'm like, all right, that's okay. Like, I don't know if you're actually accomplishing your goals here anymore. You're just kind of being preachy.
Right.
But yeah, so that's basically Christmas for me.
So speaking on a rough tangent of this, speaking about police in the US and stuff like that, I see someone finally got killed by swatting. Did you see this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was only a matter of time. I mean, everyone's been saying it for a long time. It was only going to be a matter of time, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And here's the thing: when I saw that, I thought like, wow, is swatting still a thing? Like, I was honestly under the impression that the swatting thing had kind of gone away, that like it lost its appeal. like the short attention span of the internet had claimed another victim in swatting, you know?
Right.
But yeah, no. Guy got killed. I didn't read the details. I just kind of read the rough outline.
So apparently this is what, from what I understand, this is what happened. There were two people who had a dispute over apparently some site where you can bet on Call of Duty matches.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And the bet was worth like £1, you know, like a dollar something, you know, a couple of dollars.
Really?
And they got in some argument on Twitter. And like there's a lot of blame to go around. But basically one guy said he would swat the other guy, so the other guy gave him a fake address. Now, first of all the people who have stuff to blame, this guy's like right near the bottom. But don't give other people somebody else's address. You know, don't do that.
Right. Like,
but he gave him his neighbor's address, and the other guy swatted him. So the SWAT team turned up, knocked on this guy's door. The guy came to the door, and they shot him. Basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is... Don't SWAT people, everyone. If you take nothing from these shows, don't fucking SWAT people. It's not a joke. It's not funny. Good God.
It's crazy. I mean,
I don't know
it's
if
one of
there's
those things
anyone
where
actually watching this show right now, but don't fucking do it.
It's one of those things like it immediately makes you kind of weird about doing anything online. Like, I don't think I'd be in as much danger. I think pretty much every incident of swatting we've seen that's ended dangerously has been in the US, because, sorry, US friends, you guys have a problem with your police forces there, but we don't have... we don't have stuff like that. Gaming Dimension says, also, he dies for sending the wrong address on purpose. No, it wasn't that guy who died. It was someone completely uninvolved in the situation who got shot.
Yeah.
The
Which
worst
is
thing
worse.
was...
Like, somehow it's even worse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, why on earth would you give someone your neighbor's address when they're threatening to... You know, it's a gross thing to do. Because what you're doing then is, you're not giving them your address because you know it's dangerous, but you still want to see if they'll do it, so you put someone else at risk? No.
Right. Like, I mean, it's a horrible situation to be in anyway if some guy's threatening to swat you. But in that case, just don't give any address. Just walk away from the situation.
Block them.
Yeah.
There you go. Done. Yeah.
You know? It's...
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible situation.
I almost want to say that the guy who gave the address out is almost worse.
Yeah?
Because, okay, this might sound like a macho sort of take on it, but if you are so intent on trying to call this guy's bluff, right? Like, oh, this guy won't actually swat anyone, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you do it with your own address.
Then you give your own fucking address, right? You take the hit. If you want to call out a bluff, you take it. You're like, okay, here's my address, do it, right? And then if he doesn't, you'd be like, okay, pussy, right? You get to be that guy. But you don't go, oh, I want to see if this guy, I want to call this guy's bluff, but I don't actually want to put myself at risk. So I'm going to get my neighbors thing. Well, now you are an accessory to the guy's death, but you're also kind of a coward.
Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible. Probably the grossest thing about it was they got caught because they were arguing about it publicly on Twitter, you know? And the guy who called the SWAT tweeted, and then later deleted, but he tweeted, I didn't get anybody killed. I didn't discharge a firearm. I'm not employed by the SWAT department. Like, I didn't fire the gun, so I didn't kill anybody. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's absolutely a lot of people. There've been a lot of like think pieces and stuff up, like The problem isn't swatting, the problem is the police department. And the thing is, I think absolutely the police have responsibility to bear here, you know, because there's no excuse for shooting someone when you haven't correctly assessed a situation. You know what I mean? There's just no justification for it. But no, you don't let the guy who faked the call off the hook.
Right. I mean, not to get into this old chestnut, but this very much is very similar to, oh, god damn it. This is very similar to the gun control issue at heart, right? Where everyone's like, oh, well, it's not the gun's fault, it's the guy who pulled the trigger. Yeah, maybe. But if you don't put the gun in the situation at all, then no one gets shot, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, you might not have pulled the trigger, sir, but those cops would not have been there if it wasn't your action.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a terrible situation.
You orchestrated a situation that resulted in someone's death.
Right. In the knowledge that there was a risk of that happening.
Right. Unless you're so completely ignorant that you don't think that a team of heavily armed people barging to the house does not... the possibility of someone getting shot doesn't exist. Like, that's really a dumb thing to think. Like, oh, no one will get killed.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's remarkable nobody's been killed already. Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyways. I'm drinking, I'm trying to have a good time. Want to talk Star Wars yet?
Yeah, let's do it. Star Wars. We saw a Star Wars movie, everybody.
Alright, everyone. This is your warning. I don't know how many people are watching.
3.
Quite sure. Alright, to the three of you watching, this is your warning. Spoilers will be coming. So don't turn around and say, you spoiled Star Wars on us. We're giving you ample warning.
Yeah, right. Do you think that's enough warning?
I hope so. Here come the spoilers. Alright? What did you think of it? Actually, I know what you think of it, but I want you to tell us again.
I think it might be... since, say, Return of the Jedi, the least consequential Star Wars movie I've seen.
Really?
I think it's okay. I don't think it's a bad film. Early on, I wasn't sure I was enjoying it, but I got there by the end. I think it's a fun film with some fun moments. I think it's pretty flawed and pretty inconsistent across the whole length of the movie. That's what I think. What do you think?
Okay. What do I think? I think there are... I'm gonna betray my critique lessons, my critiquer's lessons, critics' lessons. I am gonna start with a negative. Alright? There are flaws. There are absolutely some flaws in this film. There are some sections in the film that do not work. Other than that, I actually think that this may be one of the better Star Wars films out there.
Fair enough.
And I don't want to join that bandwagon or like, oh, it's so subversive and it really challenges what it means to be a Star Wars film. No, I don't think it does that. I really don't. But what it does is something that I have been talking about with Star Wars for a very long time. What it does is that it gives us a different sort of adventure within a galaxy that we love to see.
Right. And that's what I like about it too. I like that it doesn't lean too heavily on stuff we've seen before. And when it does lean on stuff we've seen before, it does it to to actually move you further away from it. That's what I like about it.
A challenge.
I beg your pardon? Oh, sorry. That's when I like the film. But I would also say that, for me, my issue with the film is mostly structural. I think the first half is pretty weak. And what surprised me about... Because it's very hard to wait this long and then not be aware of what the conversation around the film is like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this really brave movie that a lot of other people see. Because people...
Okay.
I would say the public opinion is very much divided down the middle on this. It's been a very polarizing film, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the division seems to be between people who think this is like a revelation, and the people who think this is betrayal of everything that Star Wars stands for, right?
Right.
Honest to God, my position is I don't understand why this film is dividing people like that. I just saw a film that was pretty shaky in the beginning, and pretty fun from the middle on. I think there's stuff to talk about, and I think it tries some things, and the things it tries are good when it gets there. Okay. I think it takes a long time to get there, and I think it has a lot of missteps along the way.
Okay, so this is... I actually do... I don't think of me as another one of these people who are, gonna hop on Rotten Tomatoes and write this, a crazy review. I do actually think it's, in terms of a Star Wars movie, I do think it's actually very brave.
Maybe that's the division I have. Maybe what I expect from what people are saying is a really original, brave movie, whereas actually it's just brave for a Star Wars movie.
Right. It's very brave for a Star Wars movie in terms of...
Which is still good.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, so here's the thing when it does, alright? And the movie is filled with kind of big, in lack of better terms, big fuck you moments. Alright? Specifically aimed at hardcore fans. Speculators and people who have memorized everything that's in the EU and... Oh shit, I completely forgot what ball I'm going after. It's like, for one, alright, big one right off the bat, right? And the funny thing is, there's a lot of like big fuck you moments towards Force Awakens, even, right? As close as that movie is to this one, there are a lot of moments where it's like, yeah, no. Like Kylo Ren destroying his helmet.
Hello, Master Yap Gaming, welcome. Sorry, just wanted to mention.
Hey, Master. Oh, Master Yap, I don't know if you saw it in the chat. Thank you very much for the gifts. I do really appreciate them. They were really cool. Thank you. My unboxing video is on the way. I promise. Okay. So, back to Star Wars. Like, Kylo Ren smashing his helmet, right?
Yes. Right, that's
big...
That's something I want to talk about. But sorry, Garrett, you say what you want. I don't want to forget what I have to say.
Right. To me, that seems like a really big fuck you moment. Not only towards Force Awakens, which spent his time establishing, like, okay, this is his deal. He wants to be Darth Vader. He has his own mask, whatever. But also to marketing, right? The big marketing powerhouse behind Star Wars or Disney. And that, think of all the action figures that are out there right now that have that Kylo Ren mask on it.
Right.
Right? And he straight up just destroys it in the first, like, 45 minutes.
Yeah, and
movie.
This is something I'd like to definitely say that I think the movie does right. Right off the bat, and I mean this completely, no irony, I don't want it to sound anything like a bad thing at all. It completely rejects the idea that this movie should be anything or be about anything specific just because it's a Star Wars movie rather than being about what's best for the story. And that, to me, is the absolute strongest thing that Last Jedi does. And that philosophy is all the way across the movie. So, like you say, destroying the helmet, the way they handle Snoke, and I don't just mean the ending, but the way they handle the character of Snoke, you know? The way they handle Rey's parents, the way they handle all these revelations, are all done specifically with an idea of rejecting everything people expect to do just because it's expected. And that doesn't mean doing something unexpected either, just to have a surprise. In the same way, like, I'm always saying I don't like Stephen Moffat's era of Doctor Who because it prioritizes surprising you over writing a good script, right? This doesn't do that. It just... all it does is it says, we're not gonna tell you Rey's parents are someone special because you've decided they're someone special. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, and that was one thing I loved the most about this. Right?
Because it was never... Yeah, I just want to say this and then you can talk away. It was never Force Awakens that told you Rey's parents were someone special. It was the fans that decided they had to be someone. And the movie addressed that by saying, no, they don't. And I thought that's what the film got right. And it gets that right. There are lots of examples we could specifically mention, but it gets that right over and over again. There we go.
Like, you know, exactly. The two big revelations, you know, with Snoke and Rey's parents, right? I loved those decisions, you know, because I remember when Force Awakens come out, the big complaint about Force Awakens was like, oh, it's too fan servicey. Rey is a Mary Sue, and Rey is a Mary Sue, and there's too many callbacks to A New Hope and all this sort of stuff. And oh yeah, Han Solo just happens to show up in the same section of space as the Millennium Falcon. Blah 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 blah. You know, it's too fan servicey, blah blah blah. The Last Jedi makes two incredibly non-fan servicey decisions in this film. And I'm going to tell everyone what these are. Alright, so once again, earmuffs if you haven't seen the movie. One, they never tell you what Snoke's deal is. They just fucking kill him. Right? It's like, who's Snoke? Who is he? Is he Grand Moff Toph?
Excellent choice as well. He fills the role he needs to fill in the story and nothing else.
Yeah, it's like, is he a clone of Palpatine? Is it Mace Windu? You know, all these fan theories. It's like, who's Snoke? Like, tell us, Rian Johnson, who is Snoke? No, fuck you. I killed him. They just kill him in a very unceremoniously way. Like, he does not die well.
The only problem I have with that is, I'm gonna say right off the bat, none of my problems with the film are to do with the sort of philosophical or ideological direction. My problems are all more... I don't want to make this sound condescending, but they're more basic than that. Do you know what I mean? They're more to do with things like structure, pacing, and stuff like that. That bugs me. But my only problem with that is, I don't mind that they killed him, and I like Snoke, and I like most of those scenes with Snoke, but... Were you supposed to think anything else was going to happen? Go! Kill your true enemy! I can see that you figured out who the really real villain is as you take your lightsaber and kill not Snoke, your evil villain who is in the chair in front of you, but not this chair. We are assuming a different chair. It wasn't... It was a little bit like that bit in Rogue One where Vader chokes Krennic, and then he goes, "Make sure you don't choke on your aspirations." Like his next line was gonna be, "I don't want to have to force you to reach a decision."
Darth Vader pun.
Right, it was a little bit on the nose, that scene.
Well, yeah, okay. But the thing is that I don't think, from a filmmaker standpoint, I don't think that the scene of him dying is supposed to be the surprise.
And we've had moments like that in films all the time. That is not a major criticism of this movie. I just thought it was funny.
Well, no, and that's the thing, is that I don't think that is actually what you say is actually a problem.
No, I'm half serious. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It does. My only issue with it is it does kind of make Snoke look like a bit of an idiot.
Sure, it does.
Marcio says, it didn't matter to me that he died in the way that he died. I loved it. I actually thought the physical method of his death was clever.
Right, because it did two very interesting things. One, it killed him. Two, it actually showed kind of how nonchalant Kylo is with the Force.
Right.
Because you see his motions, right? When he does that, he doesn't make a big hand gesture. He doesn't make a big to do about it. It's just little flicks of his hands. Like with little flicks of his hands, he's just gonna kill this motherfucker. But the surprise, as a filmmaker standpoint, the surprise is not supposed to be that Snoke dies. The big shocking moment is the lightsaber turning, right? That's supposed to be the surprise.
Yes.
Yes. At that point, when the lightsaber turns, everyone knows what's coming.
Of course.
There's no surprise there. You have to be a fucking idiot if you don't know what's coming after that.
Right, like Snoke.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I would lay him to ego, right?
It
because
wasn't
they use very clever wording. They use incredibly clever wording in that scene, right? You think it's very on the nose, right? But when he goes, kill down your biggest enemy, and Kylo Ren says, yes, I will kill my biggest enemy. It's very intelligent of them to not say, I'm going to kill Rey. I'm going to kill the Jedi. They use this very ambiguous term of enemy. Because at that point, Kylo goes, oh shit, no. The Jedi aren't my enemy.
What they should have done
not
is...
my enemy.
Right.
This
don't get me wrong.
bald-headed freak is my enemy.
Don't get me wrong.
Just like I say every time when I'm doing a stream with Owen, I'm like, this bald-headed freak is my enemy.
Don't get me wrong. It works. It's just funny that it's how on the nose. Like, was he gonna go kill your enemy in the dress, and then they like cut to what he's wearing, which is like a little robe, you know.
Kill the one in the gold lame.
I want to see the scene before where it's like the Playboy Mansion and all the Imperial guards are walking around topless, you know, and he's got the little pipe. There is something else I don't like about that scene.
Ears.
And this is something I would not mention as a criticism of the film at all. I mention this, like, this is not something we need to have a conversation about in any deep sense. I don't count it against the film at all. This is...
Which means we will absolutely have a discussion about this in a deep, meaningful way.
It is a completely, totally subjective thing. It's just a total matter of taste. But I did not care for that throne room that looked like they were prepping for some George Lucas motion capture with the... using red chroma key instead of green. It was very... It felt kind of cheap, but that was... I'm sure it wasn't...
bland.
Right.
I will say that. It was not very... I don't know. And the problem is that you could almost... you could almost, like, justify it if you actually knew more about Snoke. But if you knew more about Snoke, it would ruin the scene.
So let me... Let me talk a bit about what I didn't like about the movie, because there was so much I liked, and because I don't count myself as one of the people who cares about SJWs and it betraying the legacy of Star Wars and all that shit, it's put me in a difficult position, because I'm also not one of those people who thought it was really amazing, so I'm always in this position where I feel like I'm having to be kind of a downer on it, but I did really enjoy it, you know? Like, I didn't leave negatively towards the film at all. So let me talk a little bit about why I'm going to talk a little bit why I didn't like it, and then I can just say what I did and get the beginning out. I think the opening isn't... A lot of the stuff in the opening isn't very brave. In the sense that I think this movie's got three... I would say this movie's got three plots, right? Three main strands of plot, right?
Yeah.
And those three plots, as I would quantify them, are Poe Dameron's conflicts with his new superior officer on top of the... and the Rebel fleet making their getaway. That's one plot, right? Finn and his mission to do what he needs to do to ultimately rescue Rey, but also help the rebellion escape, right?
Sure.
And Rey with Luke. That's what I would say.
Okay.
That's what I would declare as the three main plots. I think. What the hell? It's doing that weird thing where it doesn't let you turn.
So,
and I would say that
I will say, just a quick addendum. I don't see three plots. I see two plots and one subplot. I think the Finn and Rose plot is actually a subplot.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would kind of agree, but it also takes up a lot of time. Like, if it was... So, I have issues with that.
But it really doesn't.
Oh, it feels like it does, though. Drags.
Exactly. It feels like it does.
So,
but it actually doesn't.
I would say that... So, I would say that there are basically three main sections of that movie up until about the halfway point. Then about the halfway point... Oh, and the third plot is Rey and Luke on Achto. And then around about the middle of the film... Probably not exactly, but somewhere towards the middle of the movie, those three plots come together, and it's when you start to get revelations and you start to get characters moving forward and stuff like that. I would say from that point on, the film's as good as you have any right to expect a Star Wars movie to be, right?
Right.
I would say before that point, it's kind of inconsistent, and not just inconsistent, but it feels like a very insecure movie. Like, to me, maybe it's just because it's laying the groundwork, but it feels like a movie that really doesn't know what type of movie it wants to be, and then around about the middle, it gets its confidence back. That was the film I feel like I saw. So, I don't think the Finn plot works at all. A few bits of it do. I'll tell you the bit that does. His overarching relationship with Rose, where she meets him as this hero that she thinks he's this idealized figure, but he's been unconscious all the time she's been aboard, right? So she doesn't really know the real him. And then she immediately gets a complete letdown as she realizes he's, incorrectly, but comes to the conclusion he's basically a coward. Which, he isn't a coward, but he is abandoning his post,
Sure.
So she's disappointed in him. And then ultimately...
But he also doesn't have a post. That's a weird thing.
Sure. But then they come full circle with that, and she regains her kind of admiration for him.
No.
Oh, close. Oh, in. I'd say that works as Finn's plot. The setting they choose for it is bad. Like, the thing is, I really like what they were trying to do, which is to show that there are people profiting from the war while the war goes... It's trying to do something we're always saying Star Wars never does, right? Which is show the average normal person who is hurt by the conflict, right? It's something neither the original trilogy nor the prequels ever really did. And they try it. I don't think it works, basically. And then there are kind of other issues with it, like... I don't mind the Benicio del Toro character who turns out to be a bad guy, but wouldn't he have worked better if he actually was the person Maz recommended instead of just some guy they met?
Right, that was a kind of a bit that I was always... I did kind of go back and forth in my head about. Like, part of me thinks that he was the actual guy, because
but I
even
don't
though
think
he
he
didn't have
was.
the...
They never said anything to suggest that he was actually the guy. I thought
also the kind of idea that maybe that brooch got confiscated.
Right. That's what I thought it was going. I thought he was going to turn out later on to actually be the guy, and he would have a tattoo of what he was wearing. Do you know what I mean? Something else to indicate it. But they never pulled it out, and I think that plot did not work for me until pretty much until they start to break into the ship, right? And then it's fine from that point on. You get the betrayal, you get the evil BB-8, which is great. You get the fight with Captain Phasma, which is, you know, like, I've seen people who are disappointed with that. That is absolutely what I was expecting, given that she is the Boba Fett of this trilogy, right?
And she's not dead.
Oh,
come on, people!
Not a chance she's actually dead. But you know what I mean?
She's not dead.
That's absolutely what I was expecting. So that's fine. The other issue is, and there is a lot of people have said that the Rey and Luke plot is basically fine the whole movie. I think the Rey and Luke plot's weaker before the halfway point too, because I would say, and I realize this is fine, there's nothing too wrong with this, but the Rey and Luke plot for the first half of the movie is no more complicated than what we saw in the trailer. You know what I mean? I think this is one of the rare examples, and I don't hold that against the movie, but I think this is one of the rare examples where having seen the trailer and remembering it quite well negatively affected my opinion of a movie.
I can agree with that. You keep talking about your opinions on Star Wars. I'll be right back.
Okay, and when you get back, I'm going to swap the beer.
Okay, I can hear you, though, because I have my wireless on.
No worries. I'll do some comments. Monster Up Gaming says, what they did show was good, but they should have done more with it. They made the scene too small, to my opinion at least. So I'll talk about my issue with the casino scene. Hello to Nightmare Harv and Fuzzy Weasel, by the way. Welcome, how you doing? So my issue with the casino scene, first of all, right off the bat, I have to say it, a chase scene on some CGI dogs just didn't do anything for me. I just don't enjoy that kind of action scene. Again, that's just very subjective, but the idea that she has like a fondness for the animals and, oh no, the Empire makes them do races, the First Order, the rich people, that just didn't work for me. It was too, like, tugging on the heartstrings. That whole section, and the kids with the rings, I don't really know what they were going for, but it kind of made me feel a bit like, it felt more like an 80s kids movie than Star Wars movies did in the 80s. To me, that whole section doesn't really work for me. Early on, Rey and Luke's plot, again, strongest of the three subplots, maybe not the strong, but quite a strong plot all the way through, but I think early on, the fact that it was just what we saw in the trailer kind of underdid it for me a little bit. The only plot that I think is pretty much good all the way through the whole film is Poe Dameron's story. Poe Dameron and Leia, I think that works really well, aside from the fact that I think not a bad scene in concept, but I just thought it looked terrible when she forced her way back into the spaceship. A lot of people don't like that she did it at all. I just think it looked silly. Like it was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing that. Fair enough. But so that's my issue with the movie. I think the first half is very inconsistent. We'll talk about it in more detail, I'm sure, specifically. I think the first half is very inconsistent. I think from the second half on, it's pretty great. I don't know what you're going to talk about because I won't be able to hear you, but I'm just going to go grab my other beers, okay? I'll be back in a moment. Entertain the troops.
All right. Sure. Hi, troops. It's Jonathan here. So Owen's been going on pretty much about his opinion. So I'm going to try to lay out my basic thoughts on the film. I liked it much more than I'm assuming Owen did. He did not like it. I said there were some flaws, and there are. But not necessarily in my eyes, pacing or choices, more or less setting. The big issue I have with the whole movie is the casino scene, which I think, as divisive as the film is, I think everyone can kind of agree that scene is kind of a misstep. And not for maybe the reasons you might think. I think it's just a little too goofy. Like, the bit that really kind of made me roll my eyes was the guy putting the coins into BB-8, and then later on BB-8 using those coins as a weapon. That was really kind of weird for me. I didn't really dig it. But other than that, I thought the movie was actually really well done. And even at the beginning, Owen said he thought that the first half of the film was kind of inconsistent. I actually think it's actually done really well, because what it does is it sets up two very claustrophobic plots. You have Rey and Luke on an island, essentially trapped. Luke has trapped himself on an island. Rey is trapped there by duty. She's supposed to bring his ass back, right? So they're both trapped on this island. And then you have the ship, where after this big fight, the rebel fleet is fleeing and they're trapped on this ship, right? So you have two plots spanning a galaxy, but both contained in a very tight quarters.
That makes sense.
It's like, oh, welcome back. It's like two diehards going on at the same time, right? Because that was the great thing about Die Hard, the first Die Hard, is that it has a very claustrophobic feel, is that it's trapped in one building.
So I will say... Sorry, I thought you were finished. Carry on.
Oh, I am not finished, sir. So you have these two plots. The one that doesn't fit is the Finn and Rose scene, or plot. Or I call it a subplot, because I think it's more in part with the ship plot, the Hodo and Poe Dameron plot.
Yes. The Hodor and Poe Dameron plot.
How do you pronounce her name? Is Hodo, right?
I thought it was Haldo.
Haldo? Okay.
But I can't remember. I've only seen it once. I will say this right off the bat. I think this is a Star Wars movie I need to see again.
Yes. And I think everyone needs to. I think everyone needs to see this movie twice. Right?
Yeah, because and I think it'll go the same way for everybody. Everyone who liked it a lot will like it less, and everyone who liked it less will like it more. Well,
but see, I've seen a very different opinion of it on social media. A lot of people who saw it the first time and had middling opinions of it, saw it again and had better opinions of it. People who didn't like it saw it again and liked it even less.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm gonna out myself here just for a moment. When I did watch this, I was a little bit distracted by something early on too. So I've always had that I do think I need to see it again in my right mindset as well. Mm-hmm. Just to be fair.
Yeah, I will admit, when I saw it, I was a little drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I was distracted. I kept thinking I'd forgotten something.
I was drunk. So, you want to accept my challenge?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was preparing my beer. Beer time.
Beer time. Beer o'clock.
Oh, you know.
So,
there's nothing like the fresh beer after you've just finished, like, one you've been nursing a while. Do you know what I mean? Because it took me like an hour to finish that first one.
You need to start tipping them back, sir. Like,
oh, don't worry. We'll be getting onto the cherry schnapps soon. No, I'm not getting drunk this year. I'm being good. What kind of beer says Master? Corona.
You can get a little drunk, right?
Yeah, and by the time I've drinking 4 beers, I will be.
So,
the problem is not getting a little drunk. The problem is last year, I got colossally projectile vomit drunk. I don't want to get that drunk.
No one is suggesting you do that, sir.
Yeah, but I'm like the Titanic. I am undrunkable until you get a big enough iceberg, and then I sink in 3 hours.
Fair enough.
And my ass is in the air.
And Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio are running across my stomach. And
I'm like the Titanic. Not enough lifeboats to save everyone.
Someone's gonna have to freeze.
So let's talk about stuff we did like. Let's do good stuff.
Okay, you went on the whole movie about what you thought of it. I'm gonna go real quick through what I thought about the whole movie.
All right, I didn't go about the whole movie. I haven't even talked about the second half yet.
Oh yes, you did.
I'm talking about the second half at all. I haven't mentioned the second half.
Okay, fine. My general opinions. I think the whole movie works very well, except for how they portray the casino scene. They could have done that same plot in a different setting, done without a lot of the stupid little jokes, and it would have been very effective.
So here's a question. How did you feel about the kids and the rebel rings?
I thought that was great, honestly. I really did. And here's why. and it's been kind of I've had arguments with some of my friends about this too, because people have been like, oh, I didn't like the Rose character.
I don't have a problem with the Rose character. I think the Rose character is great.
So,
I just want to say that.
Here's my position on it. Throughout Star Wars, if you really, really think about it, all right, there has been very, very few examples of people trying to save people in name of the Republic.
Yeah, we had a conversation about this a long time ago, about how you never really see, aside from the destruction of Alderaan, which you basically see from space, you never see the Empire as, like, a bad administrator. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, but even more so, you very rarely see the, I guess, like, the rebels, like, saving people.
They're always on the run.
Oh, shit.
They're always either on the run from something, or about to be destroyed by something, or, you know what I mean? Or attacking something else.
But very rarely do you see them actually like, okay, these are some people who are being negatively affected by the Empire. We're going to save them.
Right, but did you think, like, the cast of the movie Oliver were the right choice?
Maybe not.
The dirty-faced, scruffy little urchins who had to...
I think they are the perfect choice, because they're so... It might be cliche, but, like, what would you rather have? Like, a group of CGI, like, monsters, like, oh, we saved them.
Well, they did those too.
You're not going to have any emotional impact to that.
They did those too.
A bunch of, like, poor kids, poor children.
But they also did the CGI monsters. They saved the horse dogs.
No,
okay, what did you think of the horse dog escape?
I wish they would have just said fuck it and used horses, honestly.
Done it like A New Hope. Horses wearing masks, pretending to be a different animal.
Sure. Like, that would have been fine with me.
Yeah.
The CGI of those horses made me feel very prequel.
Yeah. The thing is, like, CGI is a fact of life. I get it. Like, it's here to stay. We have to put up with it. I will say, that scene, it just didn't do anything for me. I just sat there going, I hope it's over soon. Like, it's fair enough. I bet kids loved it.
Here's my take on that scene. This is my take on the scene. Is that if you really think about that film without that scene, it's a pretty grim film.
Yes.
Right? And I think very much that they kind of doubled down on the silliness of that scene in order to give some levity to the film.
Well, I think that's kind of the whole casino section, really, isn't it? It's the heart of the movie, the lighthearted relief a little bit.
Right.
Ninth Dimension Gaming says, I liked the crystal critters. See, there's an example of a CGI creature that I thought was fine for their role in the film.
So, as a whole, I think the film works very, very well as two very claustrophobic plots, designed to be claustrophobic.
Should I tell you what I was surprised by? And I don't
know, I'm kind of surprised you won't let me finish my thoughts.
I'm sorry, go for it. No, I'm sorry. We got a little bit of a delay today, so I always think you're more finished than you are, and then I start talking... there we go.
I think it's two very well done claustrophobic plots filtered with some very brave decisions in terms of canon, saddled with a kind of mediocre, poorly executed side plot.
You know what? I think you're right, because when I stop and think about it, I think I like everything about the Poe Dameron story, and I like most things about the Rey and Luke story. And I think if it wasn't for my problems with the Finn story, I think the whole opening half would have flown more smoothly for me.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Sure.
I never thought I'd be saying this about a Star Wars movie. There's a point where Luke milks a semi-realistic...
I knew it! I knew that was coming!
A semi-realistic amphibious creature's space boob. So here's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with the scene where we see, like, how has Luke been surviving on an island? Oh, he's found some creatures he can milk, right? But it doesn't have, like, an udder. It has a tit. And also, like, it just cuts to Luke just with his bottle, just fondling the
smiling.
Space. Right, it's like, yeah, it's... The camera's like shaking.
You like that?
Like,
because you know at some point he tit fucked those things, right?
Right, just Ray was like, so how did you get by on this island all these years? That companionship is like, come here, I'll show you. 5 minutes later, so when are you going to show me your companion? Oh, they're over there. Yeah, I just milked these for the nutrition. Like, I can't say, like, it ruined the film for me or anything, but I was surprised to see it.
Yeah, it was shocking, but
It was a very human-shaped boob, right?
Right. But at the same time, like, I think it actually served a pretty interesting purpose to show that, like, how much Luke just did not give a fuck about Rey being there.
Right, you can see me with my space girlfriend.
Like, he's trying to, like, he's, like, I get that appeal that, he's trying to get her to leave. Right?
Right, he's never milked one of those things before.
No, he absolutely has, but he hasn't done it with such vigor before, you know?
I just like he's never done it before. And he's like, okay, what's the grossest thing I can do to get her to leave?
Right, I get the impression that those creatures actually milk themselves and just deliver the bottles to him. It was just that one situation, like, look, guys, like, I know this seems weird, but I need to get her off this island, so let me milk you. Whoa, Luke, we had an agreement. I know we had an
sentient species.
Yeah, exactly.
After Ray's gone, he puts the money on the counter.
Just don't look at me. And then don't look at me. No eye contact.
They turn the red light back on. And someone else in a spaceship just lands and gets out their little bottle.
Octu is a fucking space bordello.
Oh, yes. Why did the Jedi ever leave this place? It was just very strange.
That whole celibacy thing, you know.
It was very strange to see the space boob. Like I just, there's no way that was like an accident, right? Like there was no way that they were like the props department's going to be back with us cow on Tuesday. And then when it came back, they were like, this is how you designed the cow? No, he went to the props department and he was like, make a space cow with a human tit. And... and this will be in our Star Wars movie.
But no, it's supposed to... Okay, no.
Sure,
like,
it's absolutely...
It's silly, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be unsettling.
Right, and silly and stupid.
Yeah, because at that point, Rey is our POV character. She is who we are supposed to be seeing the eyes through.
And she goes to meet Luke Skywalker, this guy she's admired her entire life, and he's milking a big old space boob.
Yeah, like he's just, just squeezing a big old space tit.
It's as close. It's as close as they could possibly get in the certificate they were going for to having her arrive, and he was just alone on the island masturbating, surrounded by tissues. That is absolutely the effect they were going for, right?
Right. It was like she showed up, and when she saw him for the first time, he had a red baseball cap on that said "Make America Great Again."
Right. Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, the Trump supporter, just grab him by the space tit. They love it.
Oh dear.
Ugh.
It broke new ground! Yeah.
It's incredibly brave! So, okay.
But there were a lot of...
Let's get a little bit more specific here, all right?
There were a lot of decisions like that, though. Like putting the pogs on all the marketing and then having Chewie just eating one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I think, like, look, okay, it might not be brave in the sense of, like, oh shit, like halfway through the film, Rey got stark naked and banged a porg, right? Like, that would be kind of brave in its own right, but it was brave in the sense that if you think about the business side of this movie, there's not a whole lot of, like, you can make toys out of this film. Like, you really can't.
They fucking are, though.
But if you did, they made sure of it that if you knew the movie, yeah, your little plushie...
There'd be some difficult conversations at Christmas. Yeah, why doesn't the Disney store have one of those space cows?
Oh, they do. But it's for employees only.
Master F says, yeah, get more specific. How does the milking work?
Well, look, you're talking about a guy from Wisconsin. You don't think I know how milking works?
I will say something about Achto, though, and this is just a total nitpick, but the Guardians didn't really need to be there, did they? Yeah, it's an actual island in Ireland. In fact, I was reading that apparently the local preservation board are a little bit upset at the amount of tourists they've started letting in who are actually just going, and it's basically not equipped to survive the amount of people who are now walking around on it, you know? Which, yeah, fair enough. The Guardians didn't really serve a purpose, did they, ultimately? Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of those people who is like, cut everything unless it is absolutely 100% necessary, but if they had been cut, you wouldn't miss them from the film, would you? Do you know what I mean?
No, but... and okay. I'll admit that this absolutely goes against what I said earlier about Stephen King, about efficiency of words. In film, though,
no, I agree.
I think you're allowed a little extraneous...
Oh, I agree. I agree, but what I will say is that as that particular extraneous inclusion didn't particularly do much for me either. You know,
right.
I didn't.
But it's not supposed to. There's no one in the world who goes, "Oh, that part where the Guardians rebuilt the shed, that was my favorite part." No, it's all designed to be world building.
Sure, but I guess it just didn't really it didn't feel like it added anything in that respect to me either, you know? I don't know, that's all I can say. That's just... I just felt like that wasn't hugely necessary. I don't know. I will say this felt... And this is not going to sound like the criticism... This is not going to sound like the criticism it means, so let me clarify it. This movie feels more like the prequels than the other two did so far. And I don't mean it feels a lot like the prequels, but I mean it's the first Star Wars movie since Disney got it back that feels like it hasn't been desperately avoiding anything that could possibly be compared to the prequels. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't mean that to say this is like the prequels, it sucks. I mean, Force Awakens didn't want there to be anything where you could have said, oh, it's a bit like the prequels. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, they filmed it on film, there was almost no CGI, and they were like, no prequel comparisons, right?
Right, and they had to, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the prequels is like a festering wound, like a cavity in a tooth. You drill out the decay. Force Awakens was drilling out the decay, right?
Right.
Unless Jedi's kind of like...
is much more a case of, hey, look, there were some things about the prequels that weren't terrible.
Right. Yeah, not always the things I would have chosen, but... I mean, the thing I
Right.
liked about The Last Jedi was, it didn't feel like watching a Star Wars movie I'd ever seen before. But when the fan service did come, because I don't believe that there's no fan service, I think there's some pretty good fan service in here, including one particular section of fan service that if people don't like, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. No, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. How heartless do you have to be to not like that Yoda scene? Like, how jaded and miserable...
That is the best.
How jaded and miserable do you have to have become to think that Yoda... And I've heard people be like, why is it Yoda and not Obi-Wan? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why.
Because Alginus is dead!
I will tell you exactly why it's Yoda and not Obi-Wan or Anakin. Because the conversation they have is about the nature of the Jedi Order, and Yoda is, in those movies, the ultimate representative of the authority of the Jedi.
Right.
He is...
And also,
he's the
Alginus
Jedi...
is dead!
He is the Jedi Pope, right? Do you know what I mean? As close as you have. He's
Okay.
he's the ultimate representative of everything. When Plo Koon touched those kids, Yoda shuffled him around to another Jedi ministry and everything.
Oh, I wasn't going there. I was going with the hat. Yoda with the hat.
But Master says, I love that he burned the tree. Right. Yoda has always... Obi-Wan was Luke's friend, right? And he knew him as a friend. And a mentor, but a friend first, right? Yoda was Luke's teacher of everything about what the Jedi were supposed to be. And he wasn't like Obi-Wan. He could sometimes be kind of a mean teacher. He was an authority figure to Luke about the Jedi. And the conversation they have is the ultimate nature about who the Jedi are and what they're supposed to be and what Luke's role in that is. And not only that, but like they've established Jedi can come back as ghosts before. They've established Yoda has done it. They've established you know, there's nothing it's no worse than the scene in Return of the Jedi when Obi-Wan turns up to deliver a little bit of last-minute exposition. In fact, it's quite a bit better than that. It's no... yeah, sorry, carry on.
Okay. Here's what I love what Last Jedi does, alright? And a lot of people say, like, okay, well, Last Jedi kind of does some similar things as the prequels. Sure, fine. In terms of, like, CGI and that sort of thing, yeah. But what it does is it basically takes the whole midichlorian thing and throws it out the window. Because what it does is that is this me or is this you? No.
Oh shit, it's me, sorry.
Because what it does is it basically goes, hey, do you know what the Force can do? Well, yeah, I read this book, and I read that book, and I played Knights of the Old Republic, and I'm pretty sure I know the limitations of the Force. No, fuck you. This is what the Force can do. Like, a ghost can come down, summon a lightning bolt, burn a tree, Luke can Force project himself across galaxies, do a bunch of crazy shit, and then disappear. Like, that's what I love about it, is it goes... Yeah, no, the Force is fucked up. It's a weird thing. So it can do weird stuff.
Well, it also does something really clever, and this gets to the heart of, I think, what Luke's story is all about. And they don't specifically address the prequels, but this is something we've talked about before. Luke's story on the surface is about... he tried to train some students, he lost one to the dark side.
Excuse me again.
And then he learns that teaching people to be Jedi... is dangerous when they might just tap into the dark side and go mental, right? That's a very surface level story. But in a deeper sense, his story's about
excuse me again, God.
His story's about moving away from technicalities, right? Like if you look at the Jedi in the prequels, it's really done terribly. But the story of the Jedi in the prequels is... Qui-Gon Jinn believes in this prophecy, so he takes this boy back to be trained, and when he gets there, the Jedi Council are basically... Hey, well done. When he takes the boy back... King. Hey, well done, sir. King of
the Snooker King!
The national sport. So Qui-Gon takes Anakin back. He's found this boy who is the child of the prophecy that clearly Qui-Gon believes in, right? Religiously, right? Qui-Gon basically believes this child is the Messiah, right? He takes him back, and what does he meet? A squabbling council of bureaucrats who don't really seem to have a purpose anymore, you know? And then, when you look at what Luke tried to do, was he tried to rebuild the Jedi from books as he understood them, right? You know what I mean? He tried to bring the Jedi back and failed. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, what the movie tries to be getting away from is they don't explicitly say midichlorians, right? They don't say that. In fact, I've heard a lot of people very angry about the idea that the movie seems to be hostile to the idea that you need to be a Jedi to be a Jedi. Mm-hmm. But what ultimately gets away from is... it moves...
I do that every time I have to break, too.
It moves the Force away from... This is something that is exclusive to Jedi, and it's either good or bad, and you go to the dark side and you're immediately a dark Jedi, and that's it, and it's irredeemable. Like, we should probably talk about Luke's story. Like, this twist... What's so interesting about this twist is that it's kind of a... It's a much... When it first happens, you're like, oh... Do you know what I mean? The Kylo Ren twist. Mm-hmm. But when you stop and think about it, what's really amazing about... So for people who... I'm going to say this so we know what we're talking about. Big spoiler here. You find out basically what happened between Luke and Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi, and the story goes like this. Luke could sense that Kylo Ren was starting to turn to the dark side, and in a moment of essentially his own sort of temptation by the dark side, he sneaks into his bedroom at night. No. And he gets his lightsaber out. No. And
the Pope indeed!
And he's gonna kill him. And then he stops himself. Or he says he stops himself. You know, there could be an unreliable narrator thing going on here, you know?
Right.
But he basically...
And they do well in giving us a situation where no one is purely true.
Right. Luke basically decides the best thing to do is to kill Kylo Ren to stop another Dark Jedi from rising, which is an interesting choice for the character given that he was like the ultimate hoper, you know? But he's faced with the idea of his own teacher becoming Darth Vader, you know? But what ultimately does it, what ultimately sends Kylo Ren to the dark side is not anything that's happened that Luke thinks has already happened, but the knowledge that Luke had betrayed him, essentially.
Right.
And so what you have here is, and what I think gets to the crux of what Luke's story in Last Jedi is he let his knowledge of the Force and the rules of being a Jedi obscure what he knew about the person. You know? He lost sight of the individual, which if you think about the prequels, this is what happened to Anakin. I mean, when you watch those movies, it's so weird because you've got these group of people who, like, anyone with half a brain can watch those films, right, and see that Anakin's basically suffering with some kind of deep existential crisis, right? When he goes to talk to Yoda in Episode 3, you know what I mean? And nobody picks up on this fact that he's being consumed by the dark side. And so ultimately what Last Jedi ends with, what Last Jedi brings it back to ultimately, is that this is a story about people. This isn't a story about black and white in this. When people looked at the trailers, everybody thought they were going to introduce the idea of, like, the grey Jedi that embraced both sides of the Force.
Right.
But it's not a story about that. It's a story about recognizing that people aren't defined by their single actions, light or dark side. And that's a very different conversation than people thought we were getting. You know what I mean? Because the light side and the dark side still exist, and the Jedi still want to follow the light side. But people can have darkness in them. And I thought that was fascinating. So yeah.
Okay, this is why I say that Star Wars Last Jedi is a very brave film.
Okay.
Because the entirety of the film is predicated on this idea that there really is no definitive good guy or bad guy in the world, right?
Right, that's the big change. Right, which is voiced by...
Like, when they talk about the rebellion and the First Order, or the Resistance and the First Order, you know, like Benicio del Toro's character makes it very plain, like, oh yeah, by the way, the Resistance has been buying weapons from these people as well, you know, and
yeah, he voices that explicitly.
Like, you look at the Jedi Order, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, sure, there's some bad people out there, like Snoke, who only want power, but you have situations like Kylo and Luke, where it's just a case of misinterpretation.
Right.
Right?
Maybe.
Luke's scared, he falls back on the old Jedi way that, okay, Sith and dark side need to be eradicated. He falls on that conclusion rather than, okay, well, maybe I should talk to Ben and get the right. And so there's this weird misinterpretation of intent that causes that whole conflict.
Right, and ultimately it's not Kylo Ren's burning of the school that sends Luke into hiding. It's his own failure. It's his consumption by his own failure that takes him away. His own understanding that he is, his own belief that he is inadequate to be a teacher.
Well, or even so, you can even go further in the belief that Luke at that point thought himself infallible, which is a Sith-like thing to believe, right? He had no humility. He thought, like, okay, I'm the chosen one. I killed Darth Vader. I ended the Empire. I have done all these things. I am infallible. I'm going to start a new Jedi Order. Oh shit, I fucked up my first go out. And so it's almost kind of a rebuke of the idea of, like, ego.
Right, and which ties in very well to the
honestly,
Jedi.
The Last Jedi speaks very, very prominently to our modern society in terms of, like, our belief that there is a good and evil, there's no in between, kind of led us to the situation we are today. I mean, not necessarily over there in the UK or other countries, but, like, the big deal, like, with our last election was, oh, the lesser of two evils, or I'm just not going to choose.
Well, no, I mean, you can see that in the Brexit vote, where it's well, the EU must be evil, because it does these bad things, and when people say, well, no, it's a flawed institution that we happen to have a very privileged place in, so it's not good for us to leave. No, you said it's flawed, therefore it's evil, therefore we're better off leaving. You know? It's this binary choice.
Right.
It has to either be perfect or it's evil.
And Luke absolutely represents that position, right? Where the Jedi have to be perfect or they have to be eliminated.
Which is why the Yoda scene works.
A much more... Yeah. But, like, Rey represents a very, I don't want to say moderate, but a more realistic view of it, where it's like, well, no, it's not if they aren't good, they have to exist. It's we have goals we need to accomplish. Let's accomplish them.
Right.
Right? Using what we have. Which is a much more realistic, in my eyes, a much more realistic viewpoint on the world. Is you have goals that need to be met, use the means to do it, right?
Right. And then you see when this ultimately comes to... But you see the ultimate expression of this when it comes to the final choice with Kylo Ren gives Rey the choice to join him. No worries, I'll let it pass. To join him in putting away everything that's gone before. And it's a tempting offer to just say, no, let's not be bound by that. We've killed Snoke. Rather than trying to tear everything down or build up something new or be obsessed with either restoring the old or tearing it away, let's just go from here and make good decisions. That's the offer Kylo Ren makes, right? Let's just start from here and make good decisions.
Which is tempting.
Very tempting. Because
I would be tempted by that. I would absolutely be tempted by that.
Right, because he doesn't say, let's join me and we'll rule the universe. Although he does... That's the offer he's putting on the table. She doesn't realize it. What he says was, let's not go back. Let's not worry about how we're going to fix the problems of the prequels and the original trilogy. Pretty much that's what he means. How do we go forward from here making new decisions? But then his first new decision is, nah, let him die.
Right.
Because he wants to do that.
That's the thing, is...
I'll go on, you go for it. Oh, I was just going to say, he wants to do it without respect for the past.
Right.
Rey doesn't want to be bound by the past, but she wants to respect the people in it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a concept of you want to fresh start, or if you want a fresh start, you eliminate everything that came before.
Damn it.
Or B, acknowledge what came before and just move on from there. Right? Because that ultimately comes to this philosophical decision, is how to move forward in life.
Right, and what Kylo Ren doesn't realize...
Burn everything to the ground.
Right. And what Ren doesn't realize, which funnily enough is the same thing he doesn't realize in The Force Awakens, is that he has not separated himself from his past. By insisting that they kill the rebels.
Right.
It's no different to when he insisted he was not Han Solo's son and wore the mask. Do you know what I mean? He has not separated himself from his past at all. Yeah. Like I said, I think everything after the halfway point's kind of perfect. It works really well.
Mm-hmm.
I still think this is such a minor thing from Force Awakens, though. Like, I still think we're getting movies made by people who just don't like C-3PO, though. Because in Force Awakens, he was kind of an idiot,
right? But C-3PO was not a joke in this one, though. He was kind of like,
that's
okay,
true.
You're there.
But his only role in Force Awakens was like, oh, look, it's that idiot C-3PO. And this video was kind of lame.
Right.
R2-D2 was in it less than I thought he'd be. Which I don't really mind, but it was a surprise. Like, they took him to the island.
But he also has, like
the best
really important part.
Yes. Which is a beautiful moment. Like, I don't choke up at movies a lot.
Where it's like, oh, that's low. That's low.
I knew it was coming a little bit. As soon as he saw... But...
Oh, God. I forgot to put Coke in that.
Oh! Hope you're having fun, guys. We're doing the weekly show we do. This is our annual drinking while we do it episode. I'm drinking beer.
Alright, you keep going. I'll be right back. I can still hear you.
I guess I'll have to get some Coke. I'm talking. I was looking at the comments. Fuzzy Weasel says, the comment section is being neglected, though I guess it is a podcast. Yes, it is. We are getting to the comments. We get to them in stages here. We don't have that many comments, though. Since the last time we checked them, we've only got... we don't really have any more. We've had, like, one new comment since I last checked the comments. 2. One is I love Star Wars, and the other is the comment section is being neglected. What do you want me to do with that? I don't know. I love Star Wars, too.
Everyone leave comments right now. We'll stop for 10 minutes and take comments.
Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, my shot timed out. Damn it. Oh, well. Snooker! Master of Gaming says, sorry, I've been playing Minecraft. No, it's alright, I don't mind. But, we can only get to the comments when we have comments.
Yeah. Okay, fine. We will stop talking about Star Wars for 10 minutes. All right? Everyone who has comments, leave as many as you possibly can in the next 10 minutes, and we will take care
Answer
of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So yeah, that's Star Wars. I really liked the help me moment. One thing I was trying to remember though, because I didn't remember, and Beth said that it was edited, but she doesn't say "help me Obi-Wan Kenobi," does she? Like it's an edited down version, if you know what I mean. I really need to see that movie again.
Well, what's the original quote? "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope," right?
Yes.
No,
help
they
me,
played that.
Exactly. You are my only hope. But yeah, he didn't do much.
No,
R2-D2.
I'm not talking about Star Wars for 10 minutes. I'm not talking about Star Wars for 10
We
minutes.
don't have any comments yet.
No, I don't care. Someone wants to leave comments, they need to leave comments right now. I'm calling you out.
So I just want to talk about stuff we liked about Star Wars for a little bit, so I can reassure. You know, I think I am going to like it more when I see it. I definitely think I'm going to like it more when I see it again.
Here's the biggest issue with not the Force Awakens, the Last Jedi.
Yeah, I keep calling it Force Awakens too.
It is essentially a movie that is made for film nerds, not Star Wars nerds.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else about it that I wasn't expecting.
That's a big deal.
I'll tell you something else about it that I wasn't expecting, that I like. And I've seen people say they don't like it, but I like it, and it's gonna sound kind of weird. Unlike... kind of like Empire Strikes Back, but kind of different too. This movie's sort of filler. And I don't mean... I don't mean that in a bad way, because people often say filler and they mean it in a really terrible sense, right? But it didn't feel like... what's the way to put this? It didn't feel like A New Hope, Empire, or Return of the Jedi, that all get really big, important plot developments that move people on. It felt like this is what we're getting between two movies, but not in a bad way. Does that make sense? I mean, we have had big developments. Snoke's dead. Kylo Ren's in charge of the New Order now. Luke's dead.
Luke's dead.
Leia's dead. You know what I mean? We got lots of things. Leia's gone on extended retirement. What are they gonna do with that? I don't know.
Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Can I say, by the way, I'm pretty glad that it looks like, for the most part, they didn't try to make a different movie out of it to tie her up early. And there were opportunities they could have done. Like, I thought they were going to have her pilot the...
You know what? I thought about that. I actually thought about that. And I absolutely believe, with 100%, that when they said, oh yeah, J.J. Abrams is coming back to do the last one, right? Because he got selected to be the last director, right?
Yeah.
Am I imagining that? Okay.
No, that's right.
I absolutely believe that Rian Johnson is like, okay, we're gonna write Leia out at that point, right? Where she gets blown out of the space lock, whatever.
Yeah, that's very early on, though. Back. I honestly thought she was gonna go, which is weird, because you were like, is that how they're gonna do it?
Yeah, that would have been the easiest. That would have been
it must have been tempting
and safest way to do it. It just
they already have the footage.
But
and then
part of me who thinks,
and then you shuffle around.
There's a part of me who believes that.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, and then you shuffle around some of her later scenes to push it later on in the film. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's a part of me that believes that absolutely was the original cut, where she would have been dead there. But there's a weird part in my head that goes, you know what? Nah, we're gonna bring Leia Organa through the entirety of the movie, let the next director, let the next screenwriter handle that shit.
Master Gaming says...
You deal with the death of Leia.
Master Gaming says, this film feels like it's indeed made as an interlope between two movies. It does, and normally that's a criticism, but it seems to work for this. I don't know why. But what do you remember after she died? The week after she died, we did the show. And I said the way they'll end Last Jedi is she'll be holding the button that keeps the universe together, and if she lets go... It's kind of like that, a little bit. She leaves in quite a prominent position. I thought they were going to do it... Whatever the original plan was, I thought she was going to go and sacrifice herself. I thought she was going to get the role Laura Dern got, you know? At the end.
Right. Which also would have been a very safe decision.
Well, if you think about it, they made the right choice, because if they'd restructured this movie... They could have ruined this movie and then still had a bad next one trying to deal without Leia. Whereas, if the removal of Leia ends up ruining a movie, like, because I have issues with this film, but I don't think it was damaged by Carrie Fisher's death, right? If Carrie Fisher's death was going to damage a movie, if you just do the one she's filmed exactly as you intended to do it, it can then only ruin one movie. Whereas if you try and modify the second, it can ruin two. You know what I mean? It can be the reason two got screwed.
Right. And like, so, it's actually, this is another reason why I think that this is, I hate to keep using this term, but why great movie.
Whoa, fucking hell. What the hell was that?
Whoa, what? Well, I don't know. I heard it.
So
clicking.
You said a thing.
That's
you
all
said
I
a
heard.
thing, right? And you were like, well, this is the reason I think. Well, there's a movie! And then it all went quiet again. I was like, what? Holy shit. It was abrupt and hideous.
Back, Mr. Hyde! Back!
Yeah. I thought you let a lion into your room.
Simba, no! Bad Simba! But... you gonna accept my challenge?
Oh yeah, sorry.
So...
I thought you were gonna say, will you accept my rose then? My heart was all aflutter.
This movie is so brave, right?
Wait, you said that word a lot. Can I ask, did you accidentally go to see the movie Brave?
So, I don't know if you keep talking about these lightsaber shit. Like, there's a girl with a bow and a bear.
This movie was really brave.
Like, why is this in dispute? It's the fucking title of the film. But
it's dumb.
What I want to say is that what it does, all right, is it really goes back to the original trilogy, because I have long since called bullshit on the whole thing of like, oh, George Lucas had this all planned. No, he didn't. No, he fucking didn't. Right? That movie, the Star Wars trilogy or saga or whatever ended at the New Hope.
Right. Well, I mean, did you ever
that
read
has
Splinter?
a very clear.
It's like, did you ever read Splinter of a Mind's Eye? Oh, you quit the match?
Whoa! I just got no, it said my network got interrupted.
Huh.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll redo this.
Fair
Create
enough.
A room.
So, did you ever read Splinter of a Mind's Eye?
No.
Splinter of a Mind's Eye was a really early released Star Wars novel, right? It was released in the 70s. And I forget who wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who wrote it was given a mandate by George Lucas to write a sequel to Star Wars, right? A script for a sequel. And the idea was, no one was expecting Star Wars to be a success, right? So he wasn't expecting to get more money from the studio, right? So the mandate was, it needs to use minimal sets and predominantly props we can reuse from the first movie, right? And so George Lucas guided the story, but he commissioned I think it was Alan Dean Foster, actually, I could be wrong, to write it. And it's nothing like Empire or Jedi, do you know what I mean? It's got none of what you would associate with the Star Wars saga after A New Hope at all, you know? Doesn't have any pre-planned stuff like that. It is a really good story, but it doesn't have anything.
It looks like I have to quit.
No, well, I can wait. Quit out and drop back in, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be back.
We should still be able to hear you, so we can keep talking.
Well, no, I mean, I'm still here. I'm still here, but I had to quit Hustle Kings.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We can still hear you, so keep podcasting and stuff. So, yeah, and it's an interesting novel to read. It's actually one of those things where they sell it these days as... For a long time, they sold it as like a canon novel. But it's actually way better if you read it knowing that it was supposed to be Star Wars 2 and didn't get made. And yeah, he didn't have it planned, because his next sequel was going to be completely different, you know? Like, for the budget. So...
Right. Yeah, like, I hate this idea, because there are reports, and one of the things that, like, it's a weird, like, almost conspiracy theory level thing, where there are people who say that they went and saw A New Hope when it first came out, and they saw the title sequence say Episode 1. And there are some who say that they went and saw New Hope when it got released and saw Episode 4.
When it was originally released, it didn't say anything.
Really?
Yeah, the theatrical release of A New Hope. I can't remember if it just said Star Wars and then it is a period of galactic civil war, or if it said Star Wars, A New Hope, it was a period of galactic civil war.
I keep network error. I can't create a room.
But
you create a room and invite me.
I will create a room. But yeah, the episode 4 was added after after Empire Strikes Back for the next version of A New Hope, basically.
That's what I thought. Like, I mean, it's such a little thing, right? It's one line of text, right? So why would you expect anyone to remember a single line of text?
Right. And the thing is, when he put it into Empire, it wasn't because he originally planned to go back and do the sequels anyway. It was world building, you know? Like, the opening crawl in itself is there to make it look like Flash Gordon, you know? Okay, I just looked it up. It didn't say A New Hope. It just said it is a period of civil war. Okay, I sent you an invite. I don't know if you can see it.
Right. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so the room no longer exists. So something's going on my end.
Hold on, I'm gonna leave the room. I'll get back into it.
Alright, I'm gonna close the application. I'm gonna rejoin. Because the network's not a problem, because we're still talking.
Yeah, although I bet that glitch was something to do with it. Ooh, should I allow special chalk?
So, not to make this a complete Star Wars stream, let's wrap up on the Star Wars talk. All right?
Okay. Well, no one can hear you for a moment, so just hold on. There we go. They should be able to hear you again.
Okay. Ultimately, I think, in the grand scheme of the saga, the Star Wars saga, The Last Jedi serves as a kind of filler, but also a very important chapter, as it's going to set up the conclusion, right?
Right.
It's ultimately it's always going to be saddled with that penultimate status.
Yeah, which is probably the only thing Empire Strikes Back has as a weakness, you know?
Right. But if you look at this trilogy as a whole, the I don't know if you want to call it the J.J. Abrams trilogy or the new trilogy, or how do you even label it?
People call it the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It will not let me join. So.
Oh, let's just lobby it. And we've been going 2 hours, 15 minutes. Well, let's just hang around in the lobbies and chat for a bit, because we won't be going too much longer anyway. You know, we'll be going a bit longer, but probably not. Can I just say, by the way, on the subject of Star Wars before we move on, I don't mind that this was kind of a trilogy. I think doing a follow-up trilogy was a good idea. But they've announced that Rian Johnson's going to chair a whole new trilogy after this. And I sort of feel like if that's the policy, like this for me, I kind of get it. A trilogy of new Star Wars movies, and then the kind of the Rogue One movies between those films. I get that, a trilogy and an off trilogy. But at this point, if they're just going to go and do it and say, okay, we are now doing Star Wars movies forever, right? Which is, do you know what I mean? That's obviously the plan. Star Wars movies forever. They might take a hiatus, but Star Wars movies forever. You're going to have to get away from trilogies. You can't... That's one thing they should start rejecting. That, like, I don't... if they were always going to come back and do 3 more movies and just an off movie between each one, I wouldn't have expected them to do it like the Marvel MCU style, right? But if they're going to start saying, okay, movies forever now, you need to move to something closer than that. You can't just keep doing, and then another trilogy. Otherwise it just gets weird.
Right. Right. They need to... After the next part of this trilogy is done, right? Because the next one we're going to get is Solo, right?
Yes. Well, I don't think we're getting the third off movie anymore.
Theoretically, we're going to...
They've cancelled the Boba Fett one, I think.
Because it was going to be Boba Fett and then also a Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and there's been a lot of talk about it. Like,
I'd take the Kenobi movie if we could get if we could get Ewan McGregor back. Like, I'd take a Ewan McGregor Kenobi movie.
That there's all these talks about Ewan McGregor because apparently he appeared for a set that's close to the same location that A New Hope was filmed in Tanzania.
Well, I've heard Ewan McGregor in interviews say that he did 3 movies with the character and he enjoyed doing it, but he's done with... He did what he wanted to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I don't think he would come back. Bit of noise, I'm just making my beer, by the way.
He did come back, though, and did the voiceover during the Rey section of A Force Awakens.
Yeah, but that's like one line. Are we sure he came back and that wasn't just cribbed from... Ooh.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. So, I would rather them... You put the lime in the coconut and stir it all around.
You would rather they,
I would rather they just do the Solo movie, the Han Solo movie, because that's already done. Do that,
and then
do the next
fuck
film,
off,
which is the end of the saga,
and then fuck off,
and then just do and do Star Wars Episode 10. Fuck off. Just do a bunch of like Star Wars Legends films, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't want them. Bunch of bullshit.
I don't want them to MCU it. I don't want them to MCU it because I don't think Star Wars is right for that. But I would much rather they. I don't even want them to be called like episode. Blah blah blah. I just want them to just go. Okay, we're now going to make a Star Wars movie, and there's going to be one maybe every 5 years, and it'll just be a really big Star Wars movie. They'll never do that though.
Right. No.
Just Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars equivalent of that Spider-Verse movie. You know what I mean? Just a movie. Like, I've been saying this for a long time.
Absolutely.
I've been saying this for a really long time. Not about Star Wars, but like I kept saying the best thing Sony could do with Spider-Man was stop trying to reboot it and give a new franchise and just make a Spider-Man movie with a Spider-Man who's been Spider-Man for about 10 years and he's just Spider-Man and he just does a thing. You know, give me the Spider-Man version of Dredd. You know? It's just a movie. Have you seen Dredd?
Right. Like, give us this. I've seen like half of it. I know the setup.
Such a good film.
So,
but yeah, just give us a movie. Just give us a Superman movie where he just is super. But you know, like the Batman movie. It's 1989 Batman doesn't get everything right? But it is just Batman. You know what I mean? Like they riff on the origin a little bit in the opening scene, but that is a scene of him rescuing a kid. It isn't Bruce Wayne. You know, and he just that is the Joker's origin story, but it is just a Batman movie. We need more films like that. Superhero movies that are, you know, just superhero movies. I suppose Incredible Hulk was like that, wasn't it? They didn't reboot that.
So, right, yeah, they just kind of went for it.
Oh, shit.
So, looking at our chat, Ninth Dimension Gaming says, what are we talking about next? So, I think this is a perfect opportunity to transition to something we had planned.
You had planned. I did this begrudgingly.
Alright, so this absolutely came about because I was bored one day on a work break, and I happened to be trolling through one of those top 10 lists of roasts from the subreddit Roast Me. reddit.com/r/roastme.com, which, if you are aware of what this is a place where people post their pictures of themselves with the sole intent of people to make fun of them. Alright? So I asked Owen, like, hey, maybe we post a picture of ourselves on this subreddit, and then we'll just read what people said about us. Right?
Uh-huh.
So you said you did it, right?
Yeah, I did it.
Alright, so I'm gonna post the link to my Reddit post on here so people can see what I'm talking about. So this is not only us telling you what people said about us, but you get to see our faces. If some of you have never seen our faces before, this is your opportunity. So I'm gonna grab my link right now.
Alright, I posted mine.
Alright, let's take a little bit. Am I gonna post? Did it get posted as a link? Mine.
Yeah, I posted mine.
If I'm looking at the chat right, mine did not get posted as a link.
There we go.
Okay, there it is. Alright. Okay. So, I thought it'd be kind of fun if I read yours and you read mine, okay?
Uh-huh.
I love this. Oh, shit.
Yeah. This is what John suggests for his friend with a social anxiety condition, by the way. Just putting that out there.
And that's the thing. I don't have a social anxiety disorder. I have I don't give
big
a fuck
fucking
disorder.
nose. Sorry. That's why we were talking about roasts. Which is pretty much the same thing.
Alright, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Alright, well, Well, my favorite of yours was, you look like a 1-ton cartoon weight fell on Christian Slater's head. Which is alright, you do look like Christian Slater. So I haven't read mine.
Alright, okay, so I will read yours for you, alright?
Well, that's one.
And then when I'm done,
alternate.
you read mine.
No, we'll alternate. I've done one of yours.
Okay.
You look like a 1-ton cartoon that fell on Christian Slater's head. There we go. We'll go back and forth. That's a better way of doing it.
Alright. Okay, so one of yours is... Never been...
Did you literally just do this as a way to laugh at people being mean to me?
I'm trying my best to keep it together. Alright.
More beer.
Alright. Never been more scared of being murdered by a testicle.
What I like is, by the way, you got 13 comments. I got 49.
And I posted mine like a week before yours.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people probably tell you this, but you look like a Seth Rogen movie without jokes. Like a jokeless Seth Rogen film. Nobody looks forward to seeing you either. It's terrible.
Alright. This is a comment on Owen's. Things could be worse than being bald. You could be overweight, have CPSTD, and play video games. Whoops.
Yeah, that person obviously went into my post history.
CPTSD is.
Oh, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a condition I do legitimately have. They've obviously been through my post history.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Lovely people. What else we got here? All your parents want for Christmas is an attractive son that doesn't wear the same type of hats that old men at the park wear. I like that one. Yours are a lot gentler than mine, I notice. Like, I'm picking the harsh ones. What do we got here?
They really are. So, yours goes, Humpty Dumpty bought an ugly sweater.
I like that sweater. Alright, what's good here? You aren't giving me much to work with, but that's the story with you and genetics too, isn't it? I like that one.
Alright, I'm gonna skip a couple of them because they're a little much.
You don't have any like that. Yours are all kind of nice. Like, do you let people go spelunking in that cavernous schnoz of yours?
I have a big nose. I have a really big nose. Alright, so, go for it, is what your mother said, ironically, when you said you were going to go bald and dress your chin as a scrotum. And now couldn't even your mother love you.
Well, see, that was just badly written.
Christ. Right.
There's a lot of nose ones here. Holy fucking shit, your nose is almost as wide as your fucking lips. What the fuck's in there?
I have a big nose. I know.
Also, I've seen pictures where it doesn't look as big as this one.
Fuck my life to yourself at least a dozen times per day.
Oh, see, that one's someone who knows me. Let's see what else we got here. You look like if Rocky took a few more knocks to the nose, then became a shitty failing artist. I like the way that sort of changes track halfway through, you know?
Right? There's some authorship to that.
Yeah.
I like this. You look like Darth Vader had fucked Nicolas Cage.
What does it even mean? Give him time, folks.
I'm so sorry, Owen. Alright, I'm good. I'm good. Is there any more for me?
No, not really. A few. Is there a memo that goes out yearly to tell every gay person what eyeglasses to wear? A secret handshake at the eye doctor? I don't get that one. That's just homophobia, you know?
Yeah.
So your topic was all I want for Christmas is to regret this. You had to feel like this. Good, because that's probably all you're gonna get. Oh look, another neckbeard living in the cupboard under the stairs. Is that what your parents said 35 years ago? They're all like that. They're not like, I only took a brief look at mine. Mine were vicious.
Yeah, yours are pretty bad.
I know. Ninth Dimension Gaming says, R.I.P. John and Owen's friendship.
Let's see. No, this one's actually pretty... It's complimentary, honestly.
Oh, yeah?
You're the whitest knight of the internet, you pale cunt.
The one I did see on mine was, oh yeah, Breaking Bread, The Return of Heisenberger.
I would take that as a compliment.
What? Oh, here's one. Your wish list to Santa includes craft beer brewing equipment and Bud Light. I'm also guessing you claim to have Irish heritage, even though we all know your DNA is closer to being recognized as woolly mammoth. That's quite funny. Because of the nose.
I don't claim Irish. That's the one heritage I don't have.
Maybe you're an Irish woolly mammoth. Tippity morning to you.
I just love them taters.
They had woolly mammoths in Ireland. You can claim both
here.
heritages.
Sure, okay. This is one on Owen. You look like a badly shaved ginger testicle that was kicked repeatedly by an angry goat in heat. There's some poetry there. Like, he took some effort. Whoever did this took some effort, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, so many of these are just, like, really basic ass
I've run out of ones to say back to you, John.
Funny.
This was such a good plan, wasn't it?
I will say one more of Owen's.
Of course.
I did not expect this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yes, don't worry. This is going to be a good episode to go out on.
I'm so sorry.
Good. I'll just let you...
Okay. I'm gonna say this one because every aspect of it is untrue. Alright? I will say this because I know Owen and none of this is true. Right? albino, overconfident, living with mom, diabetic, obese, ugly virgin, untalented, socially awkward potato.
Well, I mean, I am a potato. Funny.
I'm so sorry. So, this plan did not go the way I thought it would.
Oh, yeah? What were you expecting, John?
I thought at best we'd each get like 6, 6 comments.
Oh yeah, you really caught it hard,
Honestly,
didn't you,
what
John?
I thought.
You really had a rough time of this, didn't you, buddy?
Here's the problem. Like, I have been insulted so much in my actual life, right? That, like, I thought for sure that if I posted my picture online, people would rip me apart. I really did. I really thought that people would just destroy me. I'm so sorry. Like, I feel so bad about this.
Good.
Oh my god. But, okay, to be fair, most of your roasts are pretty lame. They kind of latch onto the bald thing.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of your roasts are like, oh, chemo. Blah.
I'm really enjoying
Pretty
watching you try and
boring,
dig your
pretty
way out of
lame.
this.
I am sorry. I am sorry, Master Yap Gaming.
Do you know what I'm feeling kind of sorry about? I only made it to my 3rd beer, and I didn't even finish it.
Participating?
Well, yeah, that too.
Oh, drink, sir, drink. We have time to go.
I will do.
Okay.
Wasn't quite the
Alright, I'm gonna-
rabble-rousing
I'm gonna
laughs in
read
the segment, was it?
comments on the chat.
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
I'm so sorry. This did not go the way I thought it was going to.
You're like Ray. You should when you provided this plan, I should have cut to that little bit of look. This is not gonna go the way you think.
The thing is like, me and Owen are not very dissimilar. I always kind of thought we looked alike. Weirdly enough, like I thought that you and I, other than hair, we had very similar features. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm enjoying your pain.
Okay, so, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna read some of these comments. All just not to mention gaming and Master Yap. So not to
letting John
mention
handle
gaming,
the
John,
comments
you look
list.
Irish. Yeah, John like you, I like Jacksepticeye. It's the hat. I've worn that hat for years. There's actually a story behind that hat. Why I wear that.
He has no fashion sense. That's the story.
Nice Michigan says, "Oh my God, LOL." Master F says, "LOL, someone died." Nice Michigan says, "TIGATTY wrecked, tiggity wrecked, riggedy wrecked." Okay.
Don't ask me. I'm not down with the kids.
Yeah. Fuzzy Wheel says, "Hugh, you look like a meanie." Fair enough. Nice Michigan says, "How the fuck does that make Owen?" I don't know.
I'm not sure it does.
Fuzzy
Does it?
Weasel says, "You jerk." I don't know. What does that make you?
No, said, how does that make me? 3 spoons of butter and a whole cup of handsome. Stir it in a dish.
Master MKB says, "R.I.P. John." Yeah. Fuzzy Wheel said, "I'm sorry, I went too far." I don't know how, Fuzzy Weasel. Because it's not that bad comparing what happened to our roast me's.
Oh, I'm getting the beer yawns. This is not good.
Once again, it's Nice Dimension Game says, "R.I.P. John and Owen's friendship." Yeah, pretty much. Master Chief Game says, "Where's Red? He would love this." Yes. I think he would absolutely love what had just happened here. What's his new handle called?
Soup cooler.
Owen? Soup cooler. Yes. The person that I believe Master Yap Gaming is referring to is a longtime friend of Owen's and mine, Redheaded Gaming, which is now referred to as Soup Cooler. So if you want to go check him out, it's SOUPCOOLER, and he should be there.
How much we get to drink? If you want to go check him out, it's SOUPCOOLER, and he should be there. That's okay. Nailed it.
Nice Dimension Gaming says, "Tep O T Marin T Ya."
So I haven't mentioned this, but
I have no idea what that is.
I can tell that John's made a rookie mistake, which is when saying he's gone back to do the comments, he's gone slightly too far back. He's going to be doing this all day. This will be the rest of the stream, so let's enjoy this.
I'm sorry. Nice Dimension Gaming says, "W2F is that? What the fuck is that?"
He's also reading.
Says, "No, you're not."
He's also reading all the comments, including the ones that don't make sense without context. It's very enjoyable. Hello to All Chaos. How you doing, man?
I don't live stream.
Oh, it shows.
I don't live stream.
Yeah, I know. Except every week for this show we do together.
But you take care of the chat. I don't. Alright, Nice Dimension Gaming says,
He's still doing it.
I gowned one
doing
from their
He's still
video gamers.
Nonsensical comments that are referring to things we said 20 minutes ago.
Shut up, I'm trying to be interactive.
Remember what we said 20 minutes ago? No, neither do I, but here's a response.
Ninth Dimension Gaming says... I found one from the Retro Video Gamers. Interesting choice. Growing a beard in a way that won't make other men's balls feel uncomfortable around that scruff. That was for Owen.
And he's getting him wrong.
Fine, motherfucker, you take over.
I will. The most recent comments. Og says, today is brought to you by the letter... What was I saying? I like it. Ninth Dimension Gaming says, you missed a lot. Fuzz Weasel says, why not talk about The Last Jedi? We haven't really covered that much yet. What? We talked about it for what, an hour? We've been streaming. We were streaming for 2 hours and 46 minutes, right? The movie is 2 hours long. We only just finished talking about it before we started doing the roasts. And we started talking it about half an hour. If we talked about it much longer, we would have talked about The Last Jedi for the entire runtime of the film The Last Jedi. And then we could have put it on as a commentary. We could have put it on as a commentary, couldn't we? Like, oh yeah, Johnny did our commentary of The Last Jedi is Owen, the person whose beard looks like a scrotum. That's my qualifications, by the way.
That's really fucking funny.
I think we can tell who's drunk more this year. Ha-ha! The lightweight survives, courtesy of light beer. It's like that episode 1 review that Red Letter Media did.
3/4 of a way down a bottle of brandy. Alright?
Alright, Gramps, calm it down. What are you, worried you're gonna faint?
Not this year. I did that last year.
Do you know, I often wonder if brandy's actually good for people who faint, or if that was just like an alcoholic's ruse. No, it's good for you, I promise. Oh, here comes another one. Oh, my medication.
Right, I always wondered about that. Like the St. Bernards would have a cask of brandy around their necks.
Yeah, going from...
Like, what is it supposed to do? That's not medicinal. It's just like, okay, I'm about to freeze to death in a horrifically painful death, but I can be drunk while I do it.
You know what it is?
That's the only point. That's literally the only fucking point of having brandy around the neck of a St. Bernard's.
No, I know what it is. The only people who actually go and get themselves lost in the wilderness and the mountains, right, are drunks anyway. So...
Are alcoholics.
Right. So what's gonna get them to the rescue dog faster? It's like, if they were all doped up, you'd put a little bag of M&Ms on there. You know?
Okay, I can see that.
Or if you're in Wisconsin, meth.
So if they're lost in the woods and they're a pothead, it's like, okay, I'm gonna
put a little
put
bag of
like
Cheetos.
Right, like a Funyuns.
Right.
Around the neck, like, oh shit. Like,
Is that Funyuns?
I'm gonna survive. I got these.
Well, no, the problem is prior
Have
to
you ever
that,
had
they don't even
Funyuns?
know they're in danger, so they're like, this is relaxing, man. Oh, the dog's got Funyuns. And then they just run home.
Do you have Funyuns over there?
Ninth Dimension Gaming says, don't breathe that in, Charlie Brown. That's mustard gas. Remember that, Owen and John? I do. Sadly. Do you remember? That's mustard gas, Charlie Brown.
That wasn't that long ago. That was like less than 6 episodes ago.
Yeah. That's why I remember it. He asked. Hey, remember earlier when we were talking about Star Wars? Remember? Remember the Funyuns joke, John? Remember what we said about Funyuns on a St. Bernard?
You know what? That would have made a very brave Star Wars film.
If it was Funyuns on a St. Bernard.
The Peanuts character showed up.
To tell everybody the true meaning of Life Day. Oh, we didn't talk about the Christmas album.
Like,
did you listen to it?
Oh, shit. Oh, God, I didn't listen to it enough to sing.
Did you listen to it, though?
I did.
Fucking atrocious, wasn't it?
It's so bad.
Did you listen to What Do You Get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb?
I really listened like 3 or 4 times. I listened to the Bon Jovi one.
Oh, it's so bad. The Odds Against Christmas, is it that one?
Yes.
The one that really wants to be like a really sincere Christmas song.
So those who are listening to this postpartum, right?
Postpartum?
This is aired live.
Yeah.
Pause the episode now and go look up the Star Wars Christmas album.
Oh god, what's it called?
There's a song on there done in part with contributions from John Bon Jovi.
Before he was John Bon Jovi.
Called The Odds Against...
It's called...
What?
Before he basically was John Bon Jovi as well. Like, pre his actual career. It's called Christmas in the Stars, the Star Wars Christmas album. Still with us, John?
It's so bad.
The
yeah,
odds
I'm
against
still here.
The odds against the funny thing is some of them are like overtly shit and terrible. Like what can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? Is just it's stupid, but it's like it's funny, you know? And then they're like, what can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? And then they're like peace and love and what is it, like tenderness? And you're like, okay, it's a bit weird. But it's like a concept album where not Chewbacca, C-3PO and R2-D2, because Anthony Daniels was the only cast member who would do anything, because he will do anything for like a £5 note. Like,
right, he's doing this thing now where like they're explaining like theoretical hyperspace technology, which is bullshit. But he's like doing this weird documentary right now where it's like, oh no, this is realistic shit. No, it's not.
Yeah, he's nonsense. So he returns to voice C-3PO, and it's like this weird concept album where they're in like Santa's space workshop, and it's all populated by droids. The weird things like there's a stupid song where C-3PO is trying to explain to R2-D2 what bells are. We heard that one. It's really weird. But then there's this one. It's like track 3. It's called The Odds Against Christmas. No worries, John Bon Jovi's on it. And you can tell that at that point, when they started doing the Odds Against Christmas, they really thought they had like a winner on their hands. Like they were so sure they had like a real heart, spiritual Christmas song going on. And it's awful. It is so awful. The whole thing is like a really weird, upsetting... Sorry, I'm not laughing. That's how much I'm about to drink. It's this weird, upsetting trip through a version of the Star Wars universe that should not exist. But it does exist. It's really terrible. One of the funny things about it is not only is Anthony Daniels in it, but Ben Burt, the guy who did the voice effects for Star Wars, did actually return to do the R2-D2 and the droid effects. So it's like really realistic R2-D2. It's just, you know, crap. It was pretty funny though. It came out in, I'm going to look up the year. It came out in 1980. So it came out around the same time as The Empire Strikes Back. And made by a company that went under like that year. Welcome back. How you doing? So yeah.
Oh, who would have shocked?
It was, well, they sort of faked going under because someone was suing them, which I thought was funny. But then they actually went under. But yeah, it's not a good Christmas album, I would say.
So, yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. But that leads me into what I wanted to talk about. Maybe this wraps up the show.
See you later, Master. Yep, thanks for watching.
But, yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you once again for the Secret Santa gift. I really appreciate it. It was amazing stuff. I've been munching on stuff all day because of it. I think we probably do this every year, but I want to bring it up again. What is your favorite Christmas carol?
My favorite Christmas carol, like a traditional one?
Or Christmas song, I guess. Like, my thought goes to traditional, but if you have a different one.
Well, like, I mean, I like some modern ones. Like, I like do you guys, you know The Darkness, right? You know that Christmas song? You guys know that Christmas song?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I like a lot of those.
Oh, no. Just listen to them all.
Yeah, that wasn't that Christmas song, though.
I actually don't know the Christmas. I don't know the Christmas song.
That's a Christmas time. Don't let the bells end. It's a good song. But
like the U.S. is not very big on modern Christmas songs.
Yeah,
like,
they
Christmas
were for a while.
Ended in like 1993.
They were for a while because, like, obviously, there was a lot of Christmas songs that we still get here that came from like the 50s, right? So they obviously did it for a bit.
Yeah.
But Orc says, "Did you record a Secret Santa video, John?"
I did. I did record it. I have been trying my best to get it online. But it has not been working very well for me. I'm going to do my best to get it online, and I'll make sure that our group gets it.
So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you my favorite Christmas carol, right? But then I'm going to send you two songs that in Britain are like... They're both from... I think they're both from the 80s. But they were basically the soundtrack to my Christmas growing up. Okay. We'll do it that way. Alright? What do you reckon? First, I'm going to say my favorite Christmas carol. I'm going to do a little bit of think of it, right?
Sure.
But, I think... Sure, it's a real problem, actually, because... oh, no, it's God rest ye, merry gentlemen. Good tidings of comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. I like it. Yeah. That's probably my favorite. Yeah? Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
What about you? What's your favorite Christmas carol?
Okay. So, my favorite Christmas carol, as like a whole, is "Have Yourself a Merry Christmas." Merry Little Christmas.
Would you call that a Christmas carol? It's more like a song, isn't it? Nah, you can have it.
Sure, but it's so old. Like, it originally comes from the musical Me Being St. Louis, originally done by and made famous by Judy Garland.
Oh, see, when I said traditional, I was thinking more like... When you said traditional, I was thinking more like from here, like in this country, it's more common for Christmas carol. If you say Christmas carol, you probably mean like an old Christian song, like a choral song. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we just call it.
Sure, all right.
That's fine. That's my source of confusion.
I fits that description.
That's fine. I just wanted to let you know.
I do have one that fits that description.
I just wanted to let you know that's why I went with God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Okay.
Okay. So here the difference between
you can tell it's getting to
traditional Christmas
drinking.
carol and the difference between a Christmas song and a Christmas carol is very blurred.
Right.
Over here.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a silly distinction anyway, really, when you think about it.
Right. Yeah.
But when I meant, do you mean traditional or like a Christmas song? That was the distinction I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say that I do have a favorite Christmas carol that is a traditional Christian song. It's Christmas.
Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, Lord, what an awful song. Oh. So that one.
But I really love a specific version. I really love a specific version sung by Sting.
It's not Fairy Tale of New York played on the kazoo then. I would love that. I would actually love to record and release that.
You drunk, you maggot. You cheap, lousy faggot.
And just in the back, that kazoo.
Happy Christmas, you ours. I hope it's your last.
Merry Christmas.
You know that song.
It's a great song.
Made popular by the Pogues. And, what's her name? Oh, what is her name?
She died. You gotta remember her name.
Yes. Kirsty MacColl. It is a good song. It is a damn good song. Not a Christmas song. It's very much like Die Hard. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It is a movie that takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
Much like A Fairy Tale of New York is not a Christmas song, it is a song that references Christmas.
So you like Three Ships? I like that one.
Yes. I saw three ships come sailing.
Was this just an excuse? Was this just an excuse to drunkenly sing it?
I'm gonna sing it. Shut the fuck up.
I
saw three ships come sailing on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, I saw.
I feel a little bit like this year. I'm getting to see what this podcast is like from the outside. Can I tell you a Christmas song or a Christmas carol that I loathe, that I cannot abide, and that I genuinely want to smash a radio if it comes on? Little Drummer Boy. Na na
I like Little Drummer Boy.
Go fuck yourself.
Because of all the Christmas carols, Little Drummer Boy has the best, like, renditions.
Oh, well, the only one I like is the David Bowie one. Peace on Earth. You know? I'm going to send you this song.
Bing Crosby's just in the background going, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm going to post a link in the chat for people who haven't seen it, and the link's there for you. This is the song that I think for British people, for many, at least when I was growing up, was the song of Christmas. I'm actually going to put it on my little check here. It's a 1970s rock song, so it's got a very characteristic sound. I'm going to let you listen to it. Be quiet for a moment while John listens to a song. Good podcasting here. Everyone else should listen too if you've never heard it before.
Yeah, fuck it.
If you've never heard,
Alright, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, go for it
right now. You might hear it echo, everyone in the chat.
You might hear an echo. Pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. But what's interesting is, as a song, it doesn't have like a soothing sound to it. It's quite harsh.
Slade?
Yeah. When I was a kid, this was the Christmas song. Matched only by I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard.
Oh, it does not want to load for me.
No.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Trying to give you the magic of Slade Christmas. Dear God, I'm feeling this after 3 beers. This is what it's like when you don't drink that often. Mind you, it wasn't bad as it was at Christmas Day, where people were trying sampling basically like fancy vodka, you know, like, oh, this is a caramel vodka. You know, all the little bottles out of the different flavors? They were rank.
Right, right.
And they all taste like shit.
Well, it's like when I went to go buy my brandy today. It was right next to the vodka section.
And they were like, how old are you, Sonny Jim?
People
Can I see your ID? And they were like, really? You're under 60? Are you allowed to buy brandy? And they gathered the friends went, come, look at the young man purchasing
right
brandy.
to, like, the vodka section. Leave me be.
Come, see the sprightly young youth bringing brandy back to a new generation. The old men emerge.
But no, literally, like, what they've done to, like, vodka is fucking crazy.
You make it sound like vodka went on holiday to North Korea and came back just wrong, like just damaged. Have you seen what they did to vodka? He was peaceful. He just came to heal.
He was a traditional capitalist. Understood the difference between societal requirements and theft. Like, he understood. We went to North Korea and came back just, no, sir. Just our glorious leader, and that is all.
Yeah, pretty much. What were we talking about?
But like, in my lifetime,
I just saw a lime at my face.
Vodka has always been.
You sound so drunk. Vodka has always been. Yeah, I was throwing this lime about while I was listening to you to do your story because you're really drunk, so it takes a while. And I was throwing this lime from hand to hand, and I missed. But I'm throwing it like up, so it hit me in the face.
But no, vodka has always been like the neutral in terms of drinks. Like, okay, we need to make a mixed drink, but we want people to only taste what we're mixing into it.
Right.
So
and then,
it's like,
and then
okay,
a little heat. A little heat
vodka,
at the end.
lime, and right. It's start to get you drunk.
Right.
Not
We
the
want to.
part you taste.
We want you to know that it's very alcoholic, but not taste of anything.
Right. So when I went to go buy my brandy today, the brandy is sectioned right next to the vodka section at my store. I'm looking at the vodka and it's like, oh, here's whipped cream vodka, here's lime vodka, here's lemon vodka, here's orange vodka, here is Thanksgiving dinner vodka, here is
Oh, I want Thanksgiving dinner vodka.
Thursday afternoon cheeseburger vodka.
I hope you open the Thanksgiving dinner vodka and it just tastes like goose fat. It's like congealed oil and potatoes floating around in the top. I'd love that.
I would drink the shit out of that.
It'd be
I would
delicious.
drink that and not blat an eye.
Not blat an eye?
Right. I would not punch someone in the eye.
I am way more sober
That's how
than you
much
this
I
year.
love turkey fat vodka.
I have drunk significantly. I feel very bad. I'm clearly very behind because you are smashed. I've taken it slow this year.
I'm fucked up.
Okay,
I'm so fucked up.
Okay, says there's a real song. Please, Daddy, don't get drunk on Christmas. Yeah, the same artist did another song. The same artist did another song called "That Line Didn't Work for My Wife," and it won't work for you.
My God, this guy is singing autobiography.
Okay, says whipped cream vodka and orange soda. Think about it. That sounds nice, actually.
No, it sounds delicious. until you are like 6 or 7 in. You're like, oh god, I got drunk on summer happiness.
See, I really have to worry about. I have to decide if. Oh god, I'm feeling a little bit too. But I have to think about if I'm going to pick up another beer. I don't know if we're going to go long enough to justify it. I'm going to bed after. I'm going to bed after this.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No. I'm enjoying being less drunk than you for a change.
I'm gonna Shia LaBeouf this. Do it.
Do you know? I actually feel like 3 beers could be a good like average amount for a stream normally. Like, no mind drinking stream. I think this makes it much more pleasant than normal. What am I talking about?
I don't know, but I just posted a question to the chat. And I want to see what our one viewer has to say about it.
Who wants to see Owen drunk? Do you mean like as in visually? We hook up the camera? I'm not that drunk.
Exactly. Ninth Dimension Gaming says, just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams! Just do it!
This is not my dream. This is my nightmare. Last year I was so ill. I'm not doing that again. I'm being a good boy this year.
You know what, Owen, since you have the better internet connection, can you find the link to our last drunk podcast?
Well, we've been streaming for a while now, so I think it might not be that many down the archives, basically. Let's see.
We definitely did not stream it. It was a recording.
Yeah,
so
it was.
If you're
MJ's Fatal
okay, well,
BJ. I remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Ninth Dimension Gaming, our loving viewer, says, I want to see Owen drunk.
Huh. So this is weird. I might not have written in the description which one it was.
Right, because I tried to post it earlier. What one is our drunk podcast? You don't actually make it clear which one is our drunk podcast in our descriptions.
No. I think it probably is something like episode 100.
Or says, wishes John had a compressor on his mic. Yes, I know. I need to buy myself like a screen.
I'm not sure to
mic,
make a difference because what's happening is occasionally you cut out when you cut back in. Everything you said between the time you cut out comes through in one big loud mess. I think it's actually a network error. I'll find it. I'll post it another day.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, we're going to tell us what to talk about, or shall we wrap up?
Why don't you post a link to our archives?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Sure, one day I think it'd be nice to take the show back to a podcast, but we need a bigger audience, you know? But if people want to see all the episodes we did before we started streaming this show, there's a link.
Yeah, because we've actually been doing this for a while. 3 years now, hasn't it? Oh, close to 3 years.
Well, one of the very early episodes we did was when the first Star Wars trailer was out, and it was a little bit before I started my channel. I've been doing my channel properly for about 2.5 years. So yeah, probably.
Yeah. So me and Owen have been having this weekly conversation for about 3 years, and the first 2 years we did it as a podcast, a traditional podcast where you had to download or go to a service as iTunes or Stitcher, something like that, to get it. And we had some decent views. I would say, or listens. But we decided about, actually earlier this year, it was right around New Year's, wasn't it? We decided to go to live streaming and make a YouTube channel out of this nonsense. And so we've been live streaming for about a year now. And we
Very
have
different type of project.
pretty damn close to 120. What's that?
Different kind of project to when we did it as a podcast. When we did it as a podcast, we never knew if anybody was watching. We never knew how many viewers we had and things like that. These days, I think sometimes it's not as popular. Right. Maybe I think some are. We're hit and miss these days, but we know people are there, which is nice. It's easy to send people over from other stuff we do.
Which actually works out very well for us, because Owen has made a career out of live streaming.
Kind of.
I have not. I still have a day job. That's why on this channel particularly, we never asked for donations or Patreon or anything like that, because Owen is supported through his own channel. I am supported through my day job. But I would absolutely love if by the next year, within a year, like maybe we can support ourselves on this channel. I know it's a pipe dream. It is a pipe dream. And I don't have any intention of quitting my job as of right now. But we do have some goals with this channel. And for me, our goals with this channel are much more important than supporting me or Owen. Our big goal, in my eyes, is to reach 5,000 subscribers. And once we reach 5,000 subscribers, we're going to do a charity stream, a 24-hour stream dedicated to a charity. I have some charities in mind already. We haven't discussed this at length about who exactly we want to support. But that's a huge goal for us. Am I wrong in saying?
No, I think that's fantastic.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, for the people who are listening right now, don't worry about trying to support me or Owen through this stream. Help us reach our goal of doing a charity stream so we can help other people. It's a very, very selfless thing that we are asking of you. Subscribe. Subscribe. That's all we ask of you, is just subscribe. We don't ask of you to donate money.
How much of that bottle of brandy's left?
We don't ask you to help. Oh shit. 1/5.
No, continue. Sorry, I'm genuinely sad I interrupted this.
Yes, Ninth Dimension Gamer, you are our top viewer as of right now. But as our top viewer, you have responsibility to share our channel, share our videos,
responsibility,
share whatever you can. That's right. You have taken upon the duty of our crusader. Help us get to 5,000 subscribers so we can do a charity stream to help someone else in the world.
I'm so glad I was sober for this.
I hate you for being sober right now.
relatively sober compared to you. I'm tipsy. I'm getting towards drunk now. It's starting to hit me quite badly since the third, maybe veering on fourth beer. But, you are so out of it. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm fucked up.
I was determined.
Way fucked up.
I was determined not to get this bad this year because it was horrible last year. Next year, I'll go for it, but no, okay. I'm having a year off being vomit-inducingly drunk.
And before we wrap up, I actually love this question, and I'm willing to answer this every time it comes up because it has come up before. Ninth Dimension Gaming says, "How did you guys meet? Do you want to explain how we met, or do you want me to?"
Go for it. No, you said you like it, you love answering it. I wouldn't want to steal that away from you.
Okay, me and Owen originally met back when we were, I think I was 15 at the time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. We met back when I was like 15. I'm 29 now. Owen is 30.
I am 30, Bubs. Welcome. Thank you.
We met... We met on a writers forum, essentially called zenith.net. It doesn't exist anymore. If you try to go to that website, you'll get a stupid placeholder site. It doesn't exist. But it was at the time a very thriving writers community because me and Owen both come from a fiction writing background, but a 15-year-old fiction writing background, which means not very good. We tried to write poems, we tried to write short stories, essays, nonfiction, whatever we could get our hands on, but all of it was done by like 15, 16, 17-year-old people.
It was pretty terrible.
And when I joined the site, Owen had already been a member, and I made my mark with a very, very bad poem called Lolita, which garnered a lot of attention. And I have tried to go back and find the exact poem in question, but I cannot find it. I would love to find it.
All I remember
and
was
share
it
to
was
you guys to see how bad of a poem it was.
All I remember was the line with, "As you stand at your daily post, I eat my buttered toast." That was like part of it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The concept behind the poem was me living a normal life watching a prostitute. I did not convey that poem well. Let me be clear. It was a bad poem. Very, very bad poem. But essentially that is how me and Owen met. We were regulars at this site. We would critique other people's poems, often in the terms of, we're going to insult this person to try and make ourselves feel better. But after that site started to die, a few people started to splinter off and have more personal interaction with each other. Some of which included me and Owen. For some strange reason, me and Owen gravitated towards each other, and we would talk to each other outside of the forum. And we actually spent a good deal of time in radio silence, where we did not talk to each other. And then one day, Owen came to me and goes, "Hey, I really want to do a podcast or something on the line." And if I'm not mistaken, this is the beginning of your disenfranchisement with your day-to-day job.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So Owen comes to me and goes, hey, do you want to do a weekly podcast? And me, I'm open to anything. Like, I was like, sure, let's fucking do it. I don't care. Like, I didn't care if I got internet famous. I had no ideas in my head of, like, this could be a thing. You know, I'm like, I'll do it. Clearly, Owen wants to give it a shot. He has some ideas in his head. I'll play along. So we do it. We do it. We create the podcast. Those aren't biscuits. We do maybe 20 episodes before Owen decides he's going to quit his day job and become an internet personality. Which, I don't know if I ever told you this, put in a crazy amount of stress on me as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, like, you decide, like, I'm going to do live streaming, internet personality at my job, and even though you started your own channel and started, you know, doing your own thing, I'm like, oh, God, I've kind of contributed to this in a very small way. I need to hold up my end of the bargain so that you don't end up destitute.
It's all coming out.
Yeah, I know. I'll admit. No, I'm pretty sure I told you this before. I felt a weird amount of stress when you decide that you're going to quit your job and do YouTube full time. I'm like, did he decide this because of our show? What an idiot! like,
if it helps,
I'm like, okay,
I didn't decide because of our show,
buddy.
No, my decision was much more behind the scenes. Just before we'd done the show, my dad had just died. I mean, I don't know how, I can't remember how close it was, but it wasn't that long away. And he'd left me some money, and I just needed to get away from everything I'd ever done. Do you know what I mean? I was just in such a weird place. And the plan was always to go back, or to go on and do a different job. Do you know what I mean? And it just sort of ended up doing this for 2.5 years. So, kind of. It wasn't really intentional like that. The plan was always to quit my job and then look for something else, you know? And, didn't really work out that way. Sort of ended up doing this instead. I still sometimes think I should go back. And then I'm like, nah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put pressure on you.
I think you've been doing pretty well. No, I mean, like, it was nothing I was ever going to voice to you. But now that you've gotten to a point where I think you have a pretty substantial channel. If you guys have not listened to and subscribed to British Gamer, you should. You should absolutely go and subscribe to Owen and check his stuff out, because he is very, very much more prolific online than I am.
I just have to go grab something. I'll be back in a moment. Keep talking.
Biscuits channel.
You'll be alright. You can handle this. Right. Don't worry.
You should absolutely go and check out Owen. This is his life right now. He is making a living on YouTube, and that's a big deal. Like, I know the view is skewed because of people like PewDiePie or the Game Grumps or Jacksepticeye, the completionist Jared, the completionist, or just that whole group of like the normal boots guys, where it's like Jared Gamer, stuff like that. They kind of skew the view on everything, where it's like, oh, okay, well, there's a ton of people making a ton of money online. That's not the truth. Most people online are scraping by. And not to say that Owen is just scraping by, but there's a lot of people out there who are just trying to make ends meet via YouTube because they want to be creative. They want to do stuff that entertains people and make money doing it.
How you getting on there?
Me personally, I'm not one of those people. I have a day job that I hate. But I have a day job, so I am not. If this YouTube channel, Not Biscuits, fails, I'm not really going to be affected. I do have a day job. I'm not yet committed to money. But there's a lot of people who have. And you, as the listeners, are the ones who determine who makes a living or not. So, if you take nothing from this drunken stream, take this. Go to Owen's channel, subscribe, become a sponsor, donate via Super Chat or Patreon or PayPal. Do that. Don't worry about the Not Biscuits channel. The Not Biscuits channel is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Don't worry, I don't think they are worrying.
The Not Biscuits channel is... What's that?
I said, don't worry, I don't think they are worrying. There's only 3 people watching.
Fair enough.
Should we wrap up?
The Not Biscuits channel is not going anywhere.
Should we finish up, man? You sound like you need some sleep.
No, I have no intention of sleeping. I have hours ahead of me. So, whatever you want to do, man.
Well, I have to sleep. Because I gotta be up in the morning. I'm doing the Play with Fans stream at between 10 and 11. Was gonna be Windows 10. Windows 10 tablet is not working, so I'm on the Xbox edition. I just had to buy Minecraft again. For the 3rd time. I now own so much Minecraft. It's an investment. It'll be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a message, Owen. Alright, while we're live streaming.
Okay. Should I be looking on Facebook?
No, I'm gonna send you a message on our messenger about how we normally communicate.
Okay.
I figured it'd be a fun little thing to do on our... This is our last show of 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for that, by the way. I'm okay with the message.
So I sent you a message.
Yeah, I got it. That's cool with me.
Yeah. Yep. Do it live on air.
Alright, I can do that. Alright. Are you still there, Ninth Dimension? John has suggested we make you a moderator of one of our first live chat mods. And I'm cool with that. I'm gonna have done it. There you go. You have mod powers.
Yes,
well done.
Here.
I've done it! It is done.
You are here every show. We appreciate you, Ninth Dimension Gaming. We really do. We have made you a mod on our show, which means you now have the honor, the responsibility, the joy of monitoring our chats, as infrequent as they are. It's your job now to make sure they run smoothly and to share the joy that is Not Biscuits. Do you accept the honor? Do you, Ninth Dimension Gaming, accept this honor?
I believe he's already accepted the honor, but sure.
Yes! Ninth Gaming says, OMG, yes, thanks. You are welcome, Ninth Gaming. You have earned it. You have earned this honor. We do appreciate your support. We always have. But now it is on you to bellow the joy that is not biscuits to the mountainside and beyond.
I've really enjoyed this stream.
Yes, Ninth Dimension Gaming says, I accept. I will do my duty. Yes, I believe you will, sir. Ma'am. Not really sure about
Sir,
your
ma'am.
gender. But yes, go forth and spread the gospel. WWJD, what would Jonathan Cadotte do?
That's the gospel. I approve. This is really different when you're the less drunk one.
Yes, Ninth Dimension Game says, I think he's just a tad drunk. Yes, I am. And I'm male. Okay!
For the first time in my life, I feel... For the first time in my life, I feel like the responsible adult.
You shouldn't!
I know. I promised myself I'd rein it in, though, because I have to be up in the morning. But, come on, man. Let's finish it up.
I know.
3.5 hours. I need to go get some sleep. I've got to be up for a Minecraft stream tomorrow morning. With fans. It's got to be organized and all that jazz. You going to see us out, or would you like me to do it?
Out.
Yeah? Okay. You have been listening to...
Okay. I will see us out.
Okay. Don't worry. I wasn't going to take your bottle away, rummy.
Thank you for watching. Those aren't biscuits. This have been our annual drunken stream where one of us has got drunk tonight. I'll leave it to you to guess who it was.
The thing is, I'm drunk. You're just very drunk.
I'm very drunk.
I know you are. That's why I didn't drink as much as you.
This has been a fun year. This has been a very fun year for us. This is the first year that we've tried to do live streaming. We have not grown at the rate that we thought maybe was possible.
We've done okay.
But we have grown. We have absolutely grown as a channel. And we appreciate everyone who has subscribed, who has clicked those notifications, who has shared our show. We absolutely appreciate everyone who has tuned in over the year. Thank you once again. And before we do our normal farewell, I thought it'd be kind of fun if we try to do another song.
Okay. I'm up for that. Now, there's a little bit of a delay, so we need to see...
Do you know Old Lang Syne?
Yeah, I know the tune. Let me look up the lyrics. I know some of them. Now, we usually have a little bit of
I don't know any of the lyrics. I'm gonna wing it.
Oh. Okay. Well, I know the first line.
Alright, I'm gonna start. I will start. Owen will catch in later because I think I'm the one with the delay. So if he catches up later, it'll sound better, right? That makes sense.
Maybe. Okay.
Alright. So, if you are listening at home, please join in. I like to imagine that there are at least 5 people singing this song right now.
Please do join in at home for sure.
May old acquaintance be forgot
and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne. For
Happy New Year's, everyone.
Oh, we all doing the first bit?
Oh, the coin. Oh, okay, no, you can keep going. I love this song. I actually absolutely love this song. So you keep going on, I will cue in.
You don't know the words to the song.
I will follow along. No, just keep singing. Just keep singing, buddy.
For Old Lang Syne, Macho, for Old Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Old Lang Syne.
Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody.
May 2018 be far better
Don't
than
worry,
2017 was.
Don't worry, guys. I'll get to that share button eventually and shut him up. Bye, guys.
Actually, something I really want to get across is I hope 2018 is far better than 2017 was. Because 2017 was a very tumultuous year.
Well, you should have said it
across the
earlier
board.
in the show. Bye, guys.
That's what I'm saying.